It's Friday, March 6th, 2026. Let's start out as we typically do by reminding you that in this age of peace and tranquility where all are benefiting and the world is at calm, you can support our show by going to supportourshow.com because that's the one thing you can do. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's it. I've got our intro out of the way. There are a couple of late nights on the horizon. So that's something to look forward to. I just don't know the order yet. So once I've got that locked in, I will have better titles for them. I mean, I know what the titles are, but I'll be able to give them in the proper order. But they are coming. So there's at least two more I know of on the horizon. One which is going to be like 4 hours long, and the other which will probably be more like 2. So I think that's it for programming notes. Is that it for programming notes? Yes, that's it for programming notes. Wait, no, there was something. What was it? Shit. There was something. Oh, God. There was something I wanted. Oh, God.
Animal, mineral, or vegetable?
I don't
Late
remember.
night,
If I can't remember
5.
Look. When I can't remember something, I can't remember anything about it. So, but there was something I was going to bring up.
Was it something you recorded?
No, it was like something that split. I have a feeling that it had something being split involved, like two of them or twinning or something. What was it? If there were separate two equal parts. I don't remember. Well, it'll come back to me, I guess. I don't remember. It was something. It doesn't matter. Obviously, it couldn't have been that big a deal because I would have remembered it. So I remember to do the support our show thing, so that's fine. That's what actually matters. Outside of that,
you know what?
Yeah.
The problem with AI is it can't tell.
There's only one.
It can't tell when something's bullshit. Because
correct.
I looked up our show the other day on Google. Because every now and then I look up our show to make sure that there isn't any kind of, anything going on beyond the fray of what we necessarily are, And the Google AI overview made our show sound so professional that I was like, okay, come on.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You say that, but I really have come to realize.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing it.
For number one, I'm not belittling the work that you do on it. The show looks good. No. It's got a great website. The art is fantastic. You do fantastic editing. All of that is beautiful. But, it's just two assholes.
No, that part I agree with you. But I have really come to realize, because it's one of those things where you become, or at least I become somewhat blind to, I don't generally go into most other shows with an eye towards analyzing the problems. I just don't.
No, you just want to be entertained.
Generally, but I was listening to, there was something, I may have brought this statistic up on the show. I don't remember. That I was listening to a friend of the show, Aunt Pruitt's latest episode, and they were talking about the percentage of shows that don't make it to 50 episodes.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this. Right? Yeah.
And after they were talking about that, I was like, really? Am I? And then I started looking at some of the stuff that I've watched, which I will be honest, my taste in podcasts tends to be both ends of the spectrum, far end. Either it's barely working or it's top end professional. There's no in between, I've noticed, with the stuff that I tend to like. I don't know that tells you anything. It just seems to be. But I started kind of randomly just jumping through other ones just to see, just even ones I would never generally, but I looked in the podcast, like top, I don't know, whatever the top 100 or whatever it is in Apple Podcasts. And then I think I looked at the what was it? I don't remember. It's like Podbean or somebody has also like a top 50 list. I'm like, all right, let me just randomly sample a few of these and see. And some of them, it really is amazing that these are in the top end, because some of them are almost unlistenable. It really is amazing in some terms. So don't get me wrong, that's actually, I think, a good thing. But it does, when that thing describes us as professional, I think it's probably because, I would guess it's judging 3 metrics. If I had to guess, that what that's going by is consistency, because we have had a regular schedule for quite a while now.
We are consistent.
Episode count, which it probably factors as a measure of professionalism. If you can maintain a runtime that is consistent and runs for anything over, I would say, probably 100 episodes.
Yeah.
It's probably putting us into a tier in terms of how it thinks the show is constructed. And we do have a logical formatting. We have an opening with a theme song and the date, and then the body of what we're talking about, which is all over the place, but it is there. And then there is an ending theme song, and the show concludes.
Yes.
That is, it is in many ways structured as a 3-act podcast: opening, middle, end. So based on whatever it's assessing, and plus now this is 20 years we've been on, so I'm thinking it's looking at that stuff.
You're saying that we've gamed the AI.
No, actually what I'm saying is, if you were to judge how our show operates versus how most podcasts operated by non-million-dollar studio formats operate, we are a professional show because it runs smoothly, consistently, and with a repeatable, reliable format. That's a professional show. Now, I'm not saying the content is. It's certainly not that.
No, but you're saying the same thing I'm saying here. It's just that everything that you do is great. It's just that at the end of the day, it's 2 assholes. That's the, content part.
Well, here's the reality. What show isn't 2 assholes? Or 3 or 4? Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, I have noticed that if you're an actor or a musician, I mean, everybody will show up for your podcast.
Well, but what I'm saying is, outside of ones that are, say, TED Talks or educationally oriented, which is a small percentage, let's be honest, it is 2 assholes or 3 assholes or 4 assholes. That's what it is. Because every show you could find, no matter how well it's made, there's a good chance there's a significant portion of people who would be like, oh, those people are assholes. No matter what they're saying. It could be 2 priests discussing the morality of making a better world, and, 14-year-old anarchists would be like, fuck them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, in the end, everybody's 2 assholes, or 3 or 4. There's your show title, but I can't write that. There's another thing. I make sure all our show titles are safe for work, relatively. There's no curse words in them. And my tags are accurate. It always says explicit on the ones that are explicit, and always says clean on the ones that are clean. Like, that's what I'm saying is,
that's the difference between the 5s and the full shows, right? Explicit,
yeah. And so again, if the AI, I don't know what its criteria is, but if it is looking at something that is classified and put together, it is.
I feel like you can't really get a good eye on something if that's the level of.
Oh no,
like it's such a basic amount of information.
To your original point, AI sucks. As far as anything that that goes anywhere outside of hardcore objective fact. Period. Anything that gets that wrong.
I want to bring up that the whole weird thing with Anthropic, where Anthropic and the Pentagon got into a kerfuffle because the Pentagon was like, well, we want mass surveillance and autonomous weapons, and Anthropic was like, maybe not right now. And then
tell you
OpenAI was
what.
like, no, we'll fucking do it. It's cool.
Well, okay, so the thing is that has, in a way that up until now,
Yes.
prior to what you're talking about, this stuff that's been going on, ordinary people really had no way of distinguishing between these companies. They're all the same. They're all AI companies, and they're either good or bad, and it's all the same. There's no shades of gray. Because there really isn't to the average person. But now, once somebody has what is seen as a political stance, I would argue it isn't really a political stance. It's a liability shield.
No,
but
honestly,
sure, whatever.
honestly, it's not political at all. He basically said, hey, I don't trust the technology yet to be able to make its own decisions on who to kill and who not to kill.
You're saying it's not political. However, if your interpretation of what he said is that he doesn't trust the U.S. military, that is political.
Oh, no, but I'm not. I didn't get the sense that he was saying that he didn't trust the U.S. military. He was saying that he doesn't trust his own software to be able to tell the difference yet.
I think he said both. I think he was saying both. That he did not trust the tool that as it is in the hands of people that he didn't trust to do something responsible with it. I don't think you have to read only one thing into what he was saying there. I think he was saying a couple things. And honestly, it probably was the first thing that anybody who doesn't care about this stuff looked at and said, oh, okay, I can now decide whether I like this company or not. Otherwise, it's just an AI company. But now if you hear, well, this company is saying it doesn't want the Pentagon using it, now you can start to draw where you want to go with that.
Well, the guy who started Anthropic, didn't he used to be... he was part of another company and he left. Because Jesus. They're all... It's incestuous as the hills. They're all been parts of companies, investors, all this shit. They're all crossbred. I mean, or inbred, I guess. No, AI is the most any tech industry really is inbred, but AI maybe more than any of them is one of the most inbred technologies as in terms of who's worked with. They all bounce all over the place. They all invest in each other. They all either help or hate each other. They use or don't use each other. It's just nonsense. It's all the same shit. So, the thing is, you are correct. It does put you in a funny situation because I agree with him. And now I'm in a position where I agree with one of these guys. So you're right. It does set him apart because I agree with his position.
And Sam Altman's a piece of shit and has been the whole time. I mean, that was not a secret. Yeah. He is a career-minded opportunist.
Isn't that the guy who basically used Scarlett Johansson's voice without Scarlett Johansson's permission?
They're the ones, they were the ones who went to her and she said no and then they used it anyway.
And they did it anyway.
Or used one close anyway,
Yeah. They were like, oh, she won't notice.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. He is... Look, that... As with many people in the position that he is in, at his core, he is a self-involved, self-aggrandizing black hole of narcissism. As is the case with, I would guess, 90% of the people in charge of big tech companies, or most big companies. Let's just broaden it out.
I realized the other day, too, that, how... I think when people talk about AI, there's a lot of people that are like, they're worried about the Skynet future, shit like that, right? But I said to my wife the other day, and my wife is, I'm sure, fucking done with me bitching about AI. I was like, it's not the big shit that I worry about. It's the fact that we're never going to get, I think, to that moment. We're never going to create life. At least I hope not, because it'll be weird. But up until that time, it's just going to be more and more complicated machine learning. And it's more so what people are going to try to get up to with that machine learning. But I did read recently, too, about how certain companies are beginning to get annoyed with how much the power usage costs. That there is a growing number of people who are sitting there going, hey, you know what? Are we getting our money's worth from this for how much we're just pushing into it?
There's a lot of the cost is becoming surface level now. People are seeing it. Like you saw that there were a bunch of people in the farm in the rural areas and farmland.
Oh, they don't want to.
These companies have gone to with huge offers, and they're saying, "No, we don't want it. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah,
yeah, because they know that they're going to need all this power in these data centers to feed this stuff.
The amount of water that it uses, the amount of power it uses.
Okay, well, all right.
The number of people who get employed in them is actually very small to the size of them.
So just because otherwise we will get emails, and they will be correct, the environmental impacts are way overblown. It is not as bad for the environment as people say it is. It is not when you actually look at it. A lot of water is recycled. I'm not saying it's good.
Listen,
I don't want the other emails either. I'm just saying.
If I'm incorrect, by all means, correct me.
It's not that it's incorrect, but it's been... A lot of people talk about it as if it is, going to create a second global warming phenomenon or, climate change. And it's not that bad. It does absolutely impact to a degree. And there are more significant impacts depending on what you're talking about. But the water consumption is not in general what people thought it was initially. The power consumption depends. So I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of overblown water and power usage. It is consuming stuff. There are impacts. There are concerns over, what are we going to do when every scrap of free land is a data center, which is not an unreasonable concern, because we are seeing that literally happening.
Yeah.
But some of it has been over-engineered, because just like everything, I think there was one or two things that came out and everybody just seized on them and suddenly it was everything. So I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. There are impacts. What they really are, there's going to be efficiency that will increase over time, that type of thing. But the thing that everybody knows is coming, and everybody pretends isn't, is it's going to get much more expensive for anybody who wants to use this stuff, as it is, to do anything that is at the far ends or the kind of what they promote this stuff as doing for most people is exorbitantly expensive. And that's why they're trying to insert as much of this stuff into things.
Yeah, they want to make
so that you can't escape it.
People feel like they need it. Yeah.
Yes, and actually, that initiative is probably the dumbest thing these companies could possibly have done. Because what I hear most often, and maybe you hear the same thing, from people who are not into tech and how do I
shut this shit off?
Why do I need this, and how do I turn it off?
Yeah.
Because it's every goddamn thing has those letters in it, and what they've done is they've poisoned the term. It's not even Skynet that people are afraid of. They're just annoyed that they keep hearing about it. They're sick of it because there's no tangible benefit for most people. If you're a coder, sure,
I'll tell you,
yes, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you the one thing I have done in the last year that AI actually helped me do, that I was actually like, oh, that's cool. And it's such a trivial, minimalist thing. I wanted to know what a Lego build would look like in a different color. So rather than have to print it out and hand color it in myself, because luckily it was white, I just asked it to recolor all the white bricks. And it did. And it looked good. And I was like, good. Now I want to build that. And I knew that it wouldn't look like that because, reality. But I was like, okay, how much power did that fucking take? I was like... And that's it. Nothing else in my day to day. Do I feel like I'm sure that it's on some other level that I'm unaware of. It's doing a lot, but yeah, I just.
Well, and I did a 5 where I said the one usage that I know of that's actually beneficial is my doctor uses it to summarize the notes of my annuals.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any type of healthcare recommendation. He just has it running.
No, and that's fine.
So that it can pop out a summary of what we talked about, so that he doesn't have to sit there typing. He can actually just listen to me and talk to me.
Yeah.
And I have no issues with that. That's great.
Good.
So it's not that there aren't any good uses.
Yeah.
It's just that they have hyped the most trivial and useless things it can do.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, oh, don't you want a personal assistant? How many of us need a personal assistant?
Yeah, well, okay, so here, perfect example, right? Apple ran those commercials about, if you don't remember that person you met last year, you can ask your thing really quick and it'll tell you, right? Okay. Nobody likes that because that makes it just seem like the world, which is already pretty impersonal, people are already attached to their phones. Well, now you can't trust anything because now is the phone just feeding the person you're talking to all of it. Now, what they should have made the commercial was... They should have had an older person who's struggling with Alzheimer's and is forgetting things, and this thing is able to remind them.
The first thing they're going to forget is the goddamn phone. That commercial would basically be an older person thinking they were being haunted, wondering where the fucking voice is coming from.
Well, there's ways around that. You can get it. There are obviously ways around that.
I'm haunted by a ghost.
Rather than showing something that is beneficial directly, they showed a trivial use, which means that you don't mean anything to anybody. And guess what? Now your technology means you don't have to mean anything to anybody because it'll remember it. But,
It's not. It's not the future.
Crazy.
That I'm interested in going towards, I guess.
Yeah.
I worry because it's not my kid. I think my kids think I'm like a bit of a Luddite. And I do worry sometimes that I'm becoming a bit of a Luddite. But I don't think that I'm a Luddite. I like technology and the way it makes certain things easier. I just don't feel the need to pour all this money and all this effort into this technology where I'm sitting there going, I don't necessarily see the benefits of what you're trying to get. And with the way that corporations and the world is currently set up, I feel like a lot of it's going to be at my expense because corporations don't do nice things unless there's a profit. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I guess that's the big thing here. Where it's like, hey, you guys are doing this for you. You're not doing this for the betterment of mankind. This isn't some kind of. That's
the other end of it. Is they haven't factored in that people do not trust tech companies anymore. That era is way over.
And have you read about this? So there's people who basically can't tell the difference between a machine talking to them and someone actually giving them massive what do you call it? Basically reinforcement, saying, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you're totally right." There was a suicide recently in England. Where it was a guy, it's over here. I read about it on an English newspaper, but it was over here. Yeah. And it was a guy who basically, he was on ChatGPT for like 12 hours a day. And like at first he was using it as a tool to figure something out. And then the next thing you know, he was just like talking to it constantly. And it was, and the thing is, if you're having a mental health crisis, a chatbot is going to fucking destroy you. Mm-hmm. Because it's not, it doesn't know what's bullshit. It doesn't know what's right or wrong. It just, and apparently, I guess there was like, I just remember the number, but there was a number of ChatGPT model. It was like model 40 or something like that. That it apparently was incredibly sycophantic, where it was like, oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, like where it basically wanted to be everyone's best friend and like yes them through things. And a lot of people complained, so they were like, okay, well we'll get rid of this. And they tried to upgrade it to another type, and then apparently people were then like, wait a minute, we liked that one, and it's like, there's always going to be a group of people who want something to just be like, yes,
of course,
so I just don't see I can't see a future with this technology the way they're pushing it that doesn't look like WALL-E, the movie, where we're all basically fat and useless on chairs.
I think that's what most people see, and that's why they don't like it. Because again, it's
and somebody said something to me. Well, go ahead.
I know. One of the things that I again, the timing. It's almost like it's almost like they intentionally timed it so badly. Because one of the things that I've seen a lot of, and I have not seen evidence that this is slowing down, is that, and I have to admit I'm secretly delighted by it, is that younger people are bored of ultra high-tech stuff and are turning to the crap you and I grew up with now. They want analog. I mean, I just saw a brand new Polaroid-style camera that's apparently selling very well, and it takes inferior pictures.
Yeah, but
and
instant
they want that.
Inferior photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I look at it, I'm like, they're not going to want this stuff. They don't want a vaporware friend. They're turning against that stuff. And anybody who's older doesn't want it. So you're only going to be able to appeal to very lonely people, and I don't say that as a judgment. I think it's actually pretty sad that those people probably need actual people, not this.
The most. Well, they need them the most.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And tech heads who are just, or coders. Again, coders talk about this stuff like it's the second coming, which for them it is, because code is the perfect fit for this, because code is literally ones and zeros arranged. That's it. A machine
but the thing is, they're beginning to not understand
the
code that these things are creating.
Well, that ship has sailed. The understanding of some of, no, seriously, there's a joke as far as like open source stuff, where you see these huge, it's a cartoon of all these big boxes, and at the very bottom there's a tiny little block, and next to that block is labeled, it says, one person who's kept this thing going since 1985 and has just died. And you just have to hope that block doesn't collapse, because nobody who's built on top of it has any idea how it was done. That's already happening.
Yeah, and you almost have to,
conversely to what you're saying,
a long dead language to actually make sense of it.
That's where you could take an AI tool and say, analyze this code and reverse engineer it and figure out how it was done. And it will be able to do it because it understands it natively. That's actually a perfect use case for this, as opposed to a person having to sit there scrolling code for hours and trying not to have a brain bleed. So yes, there are great advantages that this technology, or analyzing, as I've pointed out a million times, okay, take, 10,000 mammograms from women who've developed breast cancer and start finding the commonalities so that doctors can figure out what's causing it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before.
Yes,
the medical,
that's it. Yeah. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But as far as, do you not remember the person at the party? I can help you.
They're not interested in the research. They're interested in selling it to the public.
Agree. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And in that respect, you're like, give it a rest already.
No. Stupid. They're doing it to themselves, because if they were more laid back about it, they would actually do better. But no, because it's all about, how do I make the stock jump 400% this month? It's all they give a fuck about.
Well, yeah, they want infinite growth in a finite system. Good luck.
Yeah, and that's because the stock market demands it. So it's all a self-perpetuating incestuous cycle of pumping and fluffing each other into nonsensical explosions of nothingness. It's a tantric fucking cycle.
Yeah.
Garbage.
I know. So, it's depressing. It's depressing to watch.
It's hysterical at this point. It's all the same shit over and over. Once you realize what it is.
Did you see that our Surgeon General is going to be a medical influencer?
I don't know. Already is a medical influencer.
Oh, did she already pass through
and will be Surgeon General? No. I mean, there supposedly is some resistance. I don't think it's enough to stop it. I don't think she has enough votes yet. But I mean, look. Okay, not to delve into politics, but this entire administration is a joke. So of course, who cares?
I actually read today. Somebody referred to his group of people that he's picked to be his clown car of idiots.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
My issue outside of politics. If you're going to put somebody in the position of Surgeon General, I'd like somebody who has a working license as a doctor to be in that position.
Why? Most of the people in the high ends of the administration don't have qualifications for their jobs. Why start with Surgeon General? It's not going to happen.
So they understand some of what the fuck they're talking about. That's what.
Okay. Nice. You know what? You know how that happens?
I know.
Let's go back to something we've said many times. No.
I want educated people working.
You're not wrong. What has to happen is people have to hold the people they vote for accountable, regardless of what their party is.
Yeah.
Period. Until that happens, you might as well just talk into a fucking corner like you're at the end of the Blair Witch film, because you're going to get the same result. You're going to fall down, hit your head, and the movie's going to be over. So stop. You have to go back to that part. We have to stop passing all the blame to these people. We have to take it to ourselves. Until, because, hey, guess what? At some point, the way things are going, it won't be up to us anymore. And then people go, wait a minute, what happened? I thought they were accountable. Fuck you. You never held them accountable. So how could they be accountable? You never bothered. So shut up. Right?
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with you. But it's comedy. I actually will tell you, I have to say, I did watch the first 30 minutes of the State of the Union.
Oh my God.
And I legitimately laughed harder than I have in a long time. It was hysterical. Because it really was the literal, your crazy racist grandfather gets drunk and just starts rambling. It was, I mean, I was playing Carmageddon. It was a real kind of like almost artistic, surreal nature to it. I was playing Carmageddon, so I'm running people over, including like old women and people on bikes and shit. I'm just gunning them down with cars, and I'm listening to him in the background, and I was like, this is the perfect soundtrack for this game. Because all you're hearing is screaming, and there's blood across the screen, and then he's in the background talking about... I'm like, this is an art film. I'm in the art film, man. This is great.
Well, that's the problem, is that we're in the art film, and I don't want to be in the art film anymore. I'd like to be elsewhere, if possible.
Hey, listen, I just got a new passport.
Oh my God, you got a passport. There you go.
I did. I not only got the book, but the card as well. I want a version of that on me at all times. Because I don't care what people think. At some point, they're going to be stopping everybody. So I just want to be ready to be like, here's my Mr. America card.
But you open your mouth
up.
once, and they're going to know exactly where you're from.
Oh, I don't know, man. You don't
sound like a foreigner to me.
Oh, I don't think that. No, look, don't forget, they're going after people who criticize. I don't think it's about foreigner status.
Then we're fucked.
That's why I'm carrying my patriotism card.
Your patriotism card.
That's what it is. I will admit that was kind of an accident. I thought when they said book and card, they meant the book and the picture thing inside. So I just got them both, and then this little card came. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you ever seen the little passport card?
Yes, I've had a passport my entire life.
No, not the book. The card.
No, I have the card too.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a little Mr. America card. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
It literally, it is almost like Captain America and an eagle crying as a card. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know it existed. So if I'd known, I would have only gotten the book. But I'm real delighted I have the card now too. It's kind of nice. I was just a little Me America card.
What's funny too is when you. I don't know if they still do.
I'm a card American.
When your passport expires, they basically put like a hole punch through it, and then you just put it in a drawer. It's like I had my old passports with like steadily growing older. Yeah. If I ever tell you about the time I almost didn't get out of the. I got stopped in Thailand because so my passport. I should have renewed my passport before I went this trip, not because it was expiring, but because I looked so much older. I was so much older.
Oh, sure.
So they didn't think that it was me, and they had me for a while there. And because I had a beard and a shaved head, and in the picture I was clean shaven and I was blonde because I had bleached my hair at that point, and I had a full head of hair. I think it was the other thing too. It was long enough ago that I had a full head of hair. So yeah, it was. I think you know what, I wasn't even.
I can see that being a problem.
I wasn't even really scared about it because I was like, "What? Are you just gonna put me back on the plane?" Like, because I was literally in the airport. But, you know what? I should
but that was prior to the dark times. Now,
now they shoot you.
If you're lucky.
I'm gonna share something with you if I can get it on my computer.
You're going to share something with me?
Yeah, I'm gonna share a photo with you. You crazy
share
bastard.
your pain with me and gain strength from the share.
Going to share a photo with you because I think that you will find it amusing.
Okay.
I recently saw my mother, and she had these old photos, and I found one that I wanted to share with you because my kids did not believe it was me.
I've seen this picture. I haven't seen this picture, but I've seen you from this age. Yes.
Yeah, I had like Steve Harrington hair.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I look the same.
No. Your mother looks the same. She
hasn't aged. She hasn't aged in like 50 years.
No. But also, you look the same.
Except the hair. See that.
Yeah, if I were to Photoshop on a beard and a pair of funny glasses, you'd see it immediately.
If I were to put a costume on you, yeah. It's funny that you see it.
No costume. I would literally just put a beard. I mean, it would look weird. You'd be a young kid with this huge beard. But if I were to put your modern beard and your glasses on there, you'd see it.
My kids had the hardest time with this. They saw it and they're like, "That's
not me." No, if I were to,
you were never young.
My wife, yeah. Well, that's always kids, but
yeah. I showed this picture to my wife. I'm making a funny expression, and just so those who cannot see it.
That's part of it. I was like, I can see that. Yeah, it's the expression.
My wife said, Oh, I've seen that expression before.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Is I've seen that expression before. Yes. No. Yeah. Totally.
That's funny.
Yeah, I see it.
But yes, I was stuck in the Thai airport until they decided that I was in fact myself, and then they set me free.
Yeah.
So
today they'd say, "Are you sure you want to go back?"
Now, man, we're years ago during the Bush Jr. administration. I traveled through Scandinavia quite a bit. And when I was there was a part of me that was like a little bit nervous because we were basically just storming through the Middle East. And I felt bad.
The more things change.
Oh, I know. And today, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think about travel and I think, damn, I was like, yeah, it's like Americans don't look that great right now. We're like, And the thing is, unfortunately, I look unequivocally American because I am a big guy.
Sure.
I like, and the thing is, I genuinely like wearing cowboy hats. Like, I got a lot, and they're not like normal. They're all weird. I have weird cowboy hats, but like, I like cowboy hats. So like when I travel, if I can bring a hat, I do because it keeps the sun off my head and and it keeps my head warm. I like them. But I mean, if you are in fucking Oslo, Norway, and you're wearing a cowboy hat,
right?
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I don't genuinely see cowboy hats outside the U.S. Hats, but there is a certain flair. So yeah. So like when we went to London not that long ago, my wife was like, "Don't wear a cowboy hat." And I was like, "But cowboy hat." She's like, "No, just wear something else." She's like, so like you almost feel the need to camouflage a little bit more than you used to.
Yeah.
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 So anyhow, getting off the dark. Let's get off the dark.
Sure.
I have a weird show review. So my wife and I are looking for another show to add to our kind of list of shows. Because we finished a few things that we liked. And we tried. I told you we tried watching that show, Sheriff Country. That was like,
oh right, yes.
Yeah, it was way too Hallmark. So we started. So we had read that there's this show called Tracker, and it was a big hit. It had a few seasons, and somebody said that it was like the show Reacher, right? Which we like Reacher, but Reacher is like one season for a mystery. And one of the things I like about Reacher is that basically at some point or another, Reacher's going to kill everybody. And when he does, it's very well filmed. He breaks people's arms, he breaks their necks. Like, it's gratuitous, it's awful. There's a few sequences where he breaks people's arms, and I'm like, man, the special effects on that were so good. Right? But there's like there is a cathartic violence to a show like Reacher. Where like you're like, these people suck and Reacher's gonna kill them all. And then he does, and you're like, yay, right? Because that's what we want in this day and age, right? We want bad people to be, I almost said I meant to say smited, but I almost said smitten.
Right. Sure.
But we want bad people to be destroyed, right? I mean, our version of who we think is bad, right? And a lot of these shows kind of play it safe to give you someone who's very morally bad, whatever. So we heard about the show Tracker. And the concept sounded interesting, where it's a guy whose father basically was raised by a survivalist parents, right? Who has all these interesting skills. And now that he is in his late 20s, early 30s, he is a career reward hunter. So basically, if someone puts a reward up for someone in their family that's missing, he shows up and uses his skills plus his kind of network of people, and he finds them, and then he gets the reward. And it's kind of neat because he's very no bullshit about it. I did like in the pilot that he saves the little kid, and he's like, and he's like, okay, where's my check? And I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that he's, this is my job, this is what I do. But there's an interesting problem with this show that I felt like sharing with you, which is that it's too short to do what it wants to do. So there's an episode where he's trying to get a guy out of a cult, and there's a whole sub-story where basically the relationship this guy has to his parents is not that unlike the main guy's relationship to his parents, and there's like a cult leader, and really the whole thing's a scam, and they're trying to uncover it and get this guy out, right? And that's like, it needed like 20 more minutes to gestate. The show's like, I think it's like 30, 40 minutes long. I think the episode was 40 minutes long. It just was trying so hard to cover so much territory, to the point of which that what basic show beats are going to be, right? So like there's an asshole security guard that keeps fucking with him, and you're like, at some point he's going to fuck that guy up. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show, and my wife's like, well, it's got to end soon, right? And then I didn't realize, I thought there was, when you're plugged into a show, right? You kind of feel the balance of it. Where I thought there was like 20 more minutes to this fucking thing. I thought there was more distance to go. There's 5 minutes left. Literally, it's like, I thought there was 20, there was 5. The bad guys come in, kicks the shit out of the security guard, and then he's like, haha, I've uncovered all the bad things you did. And then the guy that was trying to leave, he was like, oh my god, they betrayed me. And you're like, okay, we just jumped way ahead. I was like, I needed at least 20 more minutes for this to make any sense. Honestly, I needed like 2 or 3 episodes. And I feel like the show is playing with these mysteries, but then being like, okay, we've only got 40 minutes. Let's just cliff notes this to get to the end. And like, it becomes almost comedic, because you're sitting there going, wait, what, were you just going to push fast forward on this? Like, it's like a mystery show on fast forward. And it's not that I don't like it. I kind of enjoy the concept of it. I don't know where it's going to go. I've only watched like the first maybe like 4 or 5 episodes.
Right.
But just that idea that it because what is it? There are shows that do a lot in a half hour, right? So Mandalorian, those were like half an hour long, weren't they, in the beginning?
Yeah, they were.
And those episodes, they were quick, but they were like super tight. They handled their storytelling really well. Like, I didn't feel like they were trying to take on more than they had the time to take on, right? Whereas this show, they've got 40 minutes, and I feel like it's not fucking enough.
Yeah.
And my wife, who reads like a lot of mystery, and she likes these kind of thriller shows, even she's sitting there going, they're gonna figure this, like, questioningly, they're gonna figure this out in the next 5 minutes. Like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on. So, so yeah, I don't know yet whether it's going to be a show that we're going to continually watch.
Sure.
But it's like, even like...
And this is... What network is this on?
I don't know. We're watching it on Prime. We're watching it on Amazon. I don't know what network
it was
on.
Actually airs it. Okay.
No, I think it did. Hold on, let's see. It's called Tracker.
Because it's not an Amazon original, I'm assuming.
No,
That's
it's
what
not.
I'm getting
Hold
at.
on.
Okay, so they imported
CBS,
it from
it's CBS.
somebody.
It's CBS.
Okay, so it's a CBS.
Yeah, we call it Trapper Keeper because we keep forgetting Tracker, and for some reason Trapper Keeper stuck. And it's an adorable show because the guy's not really. They paint him off like he's a loner, but like he's not really a loner because his handlers.
It's still on. Okay.
Yeah, his handlers are. Well, at least in the first season, are these 2 adorable lesbians who keep adopting dogs, and they're like older lesbians, and like they're really nice. And he's got another guy who's like he's his guy in the van who's got like
microchip. He's got a microchip.
He's got his microchip, and if anything, he's like a benign Punisher who works for reward money, right? But he knows how to fight, and like he's really good at finding people, and he does shit that you look at and you go, "Are you on the spectrum?" Like, at one point, he goes to a fast food place, and he wants their security cam, and they won't let him look at it. They're like, well, we'll have to call HR, our corporate. That might take a couple days. He goes, okay. And then he walks away, and he comes back in through the back door, locks himself in there, and just starts going through their computer footage. Well, when the cops show up, and you're like, okay, you know what? There's a bit of, maybe on the spectrum here with the personality. But yeah, it's just trying to do a lot in such a short time. And I don't know if you've encountered that, where you see shows that are trying so hard to like, where they're like, we want to do an hour show in 40 minutes.
I can't think of. I want to say a while ago there was an older show like that, and I'm struggling to remember what it was because I stopped watching it because I felt like they couldn't accomplish what they wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. No, actually, what I'm trying to think if anything,
Oh.
What's in? Yeah, speaking of pictures, yeah, you saw
I
that, huh? Yeah.
I just saw this kid in his cool Camaro. Sorry, Joe just
That
responded
was my mother's
to
car. My
Oh
mother's
my
car.
God, that was your mom's Camaro?
Yes. My mother drove an
Jeez.
IROC Z for a year. She loved that car.
Man,
Loved that car
That makes
until my
a-
sister came along.
that makes a lot of sense with your mom.
Yeah,
There you
she
go.
loved that car. It was a great car. It was.
Fucking awesome.
But
Anyway, sorry,
then
I got
once my
derailed.
sister, you couldn't throw a kid into the back. It's like,
Well, you could try.
Yeah, they'll die. I mean, you could, but they'll die. So, yeah, I was going to say there's shows actually. It's more often not that I'm impressed with what they can do in short episodes now, like Schitt's Creek. Those episodes are all short, 30 minutes, and it's amazing how much ground they cover.
And that's what I mean is that there's shows that can do it.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching this show and I'm sitting there going, I'm hoping that as it goes on, they figure their pacing out better, right?
Yeah.
But right now, I'm kind of sitting there going, you wanted to cover a lot of territory, and it's almost like it's like somebody who's writing a story, and they realize suddenly that they've hit the page count. They've only got 5 pages left, so they have to bring the whole 50-page story to an end really quick, where really they needed like another 50 pages to get there. That's what it feels like. So it's weird, and like I don't dislike anyone in. I mean, it's a bit sitcom-y, right? But it's it's a bit mystery sitcom-y, which I like. NCIS I've come to realize is kind of like a comedy, posing as a mystery show.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot.
But yeah, it's just interesting. I haven't encountered that idea of you're trying to do too much in a short time, because normally, like you said, a lot of shows have their pacing, or it's amazing how much they can get in. Whereas, I was watching this going, wait, that's the end? But what about, all these things? Like, we were getting into this and that, and yeah, it just felt, and it felt like it's like he took down Scientology. Like, that's the episode. It's like he took down Scientology, a burgeoning Scientology in 40 minutes. And I was like, yeah, it feels a bit much.
Yeah, if you don't have it down right, I mean, there's
early
times
days.
where shows.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same old problem. Shows can go too long and it's filler. Shows can go too short. That's kind of what I liked about, you brought up The Mandalorian. In the first season, one of the things I liked is that there was no consistent runtime. They had as much time as they needed to tell their story.
But they were tight. They didn't linger.
No, what's what I'm saying is they understood, okay, here's the story we want to tell. Forget the runtime.
Yeah.
Here's the story we want to tell. That's the runtime. That's it.
Yeah.
That is ideally how it should be. And especially now.
Oh, so wait, this show is still on CBS, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Is this still on broadcast television?
It shows like it is, so I'm going to assume
why?
it is.
Is it getting is it because they're basically need to fit it? Oh, I wonder if that's the problem. Is this the old school got to fit it into a time slot problem?
It looks that way. Yeah. But that's what I mean about, yeah, because it shows up like it's still on. It says
it's on
CBS.
CBS.
So, yeah.
Yeah, TV 14 on CBS.
Yeah.
A
Unfortunately,
trusted
that's
lone
the
wolf
problem.
survivalist.
But the reality is,
Yeah.
I don't even know if that matters anymore. Okay, it's on, so then just let it run over and then run a goddamn commercial for Life Alert. Who cares? It's the only people left watching network television anyway.
It's been a while since I watched the show, and I sat there and said,
this should be longer.
This should be longer. Yeah, and then the thing is, it's because I do find it amusing. It's light fare. Here's the thing: in these times, right? There's shows you watch because they're really great, and there's shows you watch because it's light fare. I don't watch NCIS with my wife because it's a really great show. I watch it because it's basically like a Law and Order type, vaguely funny show. We're not watching Special Victims Unit on Law and Order where it's like, whoa, she was raped by her whole family, and now it's in trial. Like you're like, oh god. I was like, this is more like, oh, lost person. We're gonna find them. Like, I'm cool with that. NCIS. Oh, they killed somebody. Who's Navy adjacent. We'll find out who did it. And there'll be a joke about Gibbs drinking coffee and a goth girl. Yay.
Sure.
Looking for light fare, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I watched the show and was like, why is this so short?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know what? Arcane. I love Arcane, and I always felt like it was amazing how much they got into those episodes, because those episodes weren't that long. How long were those? Because I think those are pretty short length.
Yeah, I think they're 22 minutes or something, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's just 30 minutes. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, 18 episodes. Each episode running approximately 39. Oh no, 39 to 50 minutes. You know what? It still felt like.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it still felt like they got so much in there. But I mean, that's the thing. If a show doesn't know how to fill it, then yes, it's. I suppose it's always better to leave people going, well, I wanted that to be longer, than to people sit there and go, why did that take so long?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We have that sometimes with movies where, like, I know that a movie is weak to me if somewhere in the middle I sit there and I go, I'm fucking bored. Why is this taking so long? And that seems to be, like, a lot of the problems you get with some of these movies that are, like, kind of less good, you know, like low budget movies, first time writers. It's like, you know, pacing is difficult. And people who've done this for a while, like, you know, a director kind of gets a sense of their pacing and writers get a sense of their pacing. But some of these movies were like, this is the only movie they've ever made. You're like, pacing's off a little bit, you know? Yeah. So I figured I would mention that. And if anyone listening has a show that they feel like that with, where you're like, you know what? Star Trek. I found in season 2 of Star Trek, because we're watching it, watching it again with my son. There are times in season 2 where it comes to a conclusion, and I'm like, what? Like, we just watched the Moriarty episode a little bit ago, like last week. Or the first Moriarty episode, right? And they get to the end where they're like, well, we can't pull you out right now, but we will eventually. And then Moriarty's like, okay, cool. Well, then I'm just going to go, and you guys can bring me back later. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, and then that was the end of the episode, and I was like, what? It's like, that's it? It's like, but we and I was like, I guess that was just, you know, one of those hard science episodes where we're like, what if? And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I mean, I was waiting for more to happen. I mean, I thought he was going to try and take over the ship or some other shit or what, you know. But no, it was an episode of, this is what happens when you program AIs incorrectly. You get self-aware holograms. And then it was over. So, it's not a bad episode.
There are more of those episodes than people think when it comes to Star Trek. There's quite a few of those in Next Gen where it's like, oh, episode's over.
Yeah, like the
it's not really a complaint, but it happens a lot.
It's almost like the mystery coming up to it is what they focus on. And then once you get going, you're like, oh, this is where it's going to get good now. They're like, oh, we solved it. It's over.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Data hit the switch. Got it. So, yeah. I mean, maybe it's a broadcast television thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, you remember the one with where they keep blowing up because the ship comes out of the wormhole and hits them over and over and over? That whole episode is about them solving. What?
Is that a Worf episode or is that a Data episode?
No, that's the one where Kelsey Grammer is the captain of the other ship. That's why I always remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he's the bearded Frasier is the captain.
Surprised.
But no, that's the one where, remember, that's the one where Data keeps leaving threes and they keep seeing the threes and they figure it out because they're in a time. I mean, I think there may be a time loop one with Worf as well, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. And at the end, what happens is they move and the ship doesn't hit them. And then they greet the ship and it's bearded Kelsey Grammer. And they're like, welcome back from the past. And it's like, da-da-da-da, and the titles, that's it. It's all a fucking episode. Nothing about, you know, what are these people, you never get a follow-up where they're assimilating into because they're wearing the outfits from the old series of movies. So they're from that time period. Obviously,
I remember Kelsey Grammer in that outfit. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was, what was the name of the ship? I almost remember the ship. It's like the Kentuckian or something like that. Anyway, it's with a K. In any event, the episode, he's like, oh, hello, Captain. Hello, Captain. You see him in the old outfit. He's like, welcome to the 23rd century. And then the titles come up. And that's it. There's no follow-up.
There's the picture. What the hell is the name of the ship?
Yes. It's like the Saratoga.
Oh, it was a Frakes episode, too. God, you love those Frakes episodes.
You got to love those Frakes episodes. What's the name of the ship?
I'm looking to see what was the name. The USS Bozeman.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the Bozeman.
I had Munn. Okay.
Morgan Bateson, captain of the USS Bozeman.
Yeah, but that's the end is just them missing. the other ship, and then they greet them, and then the episode ends.
Yeah, trapped in a temporal anomaly for 80 years.
Yeah. I mean, Scotty got more time out of time than they did.
Oh,
and they had a whole ship. Scotty was just caught in the goddamn transporter.
Yeah. I actually
Don't get me wrong.
watched,
I like Scotty. It was a great episode. But
I watched that episode the other day because I like
the one where he's drunk and he's like, fuck it all.
Oh, he goes in the hologram in the old Star Trek set.
Yeah, he's got the old
and
bridge.
He's like, he's like, this is where I belong. I mean, honestly,
here's the swimming with bow-legged women, Chief.
I was always impressed they didn't kill him. Because
but that's
that he was going to die saving the ship or some shit like that. The fact that they didn't do that, I was impressed. Because that's what they. But my point is,
I would have loved a two-parter with that, where then you found out how the Bozeman, maybe
trapped.
just. Or that they just go to a space dock and they run into some of the crew and they're like, wow, yeah, this is so much easier, man. Back in our day, the ships couldn't replicate all this stuff. They didn't have synthahol or whatever.
Yeah,
just little things to indicate
all
that
tasted
this crew.
Like poop, because it was all made from the poop.
Right, essentially. But it would be like a ship that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle coming back in perfect shape with the crew. That would be a big deal for a while, and, that ship would go into a museum and people would hear about it, but instead they just vanish. That's what I mean about some of those episodes just go, and done.
Yes, but you know what? That happens on a lot of TV. Before I stopped watching Longmire, that used to be a thing in Longmire where they'd figure out the crime, and then you'd be like, but what happened to, I think I told you this, there was a Russian girl. There was a whole thing about Russian girls being adopted and being abused, and then, at the end, they save one of these little girls. And he's like, the main guy, Longmire, is like, don't worry, I'm going to take you to a good place. And then that's it. And then you never hear about this girl again. I'm like, what happened to the little girl?
Well, I mean, you're describing 90% of Law & Order episodes.
Yeah.
Where after they figure out who the bad person is, you have no idea what happened. It's what happened? Okay. So this girl has been held and tortured sexually by her parents for 20 years. And then the episode just ends. You're like, did she kill her? What happened?
We got you out. It's okay. And you're like, no, she's not. She's not okay.
No.
I know how this works.
No. Yeah. No. You were chained in a basement for a decade. You can't just get a job at McDonald's tomorrow. What do you mean? That's how they treat it. It's like, we saved you. Everybody's happy.
Trauma's over. Everything's good.
Yeah. Yeah, which is how a lot of TV shows treat it.
Yeah.
Major character dies. Next episode, everybody's having a fucking birthday party.
Oh my god!
Okay.
In NCIS, when that woman dies, who was through the whole first couple seasons of the show, the way they handle her death, where she keeps showing up as a hallucination to everybody else, should be really I can't remember her name. She was in the first 2 seasons. She was the one that was a former Secret Service.
I've never seen the show. So
Okay. What was?
She was only in the first 2 seasons?
She was in the first
Sasha
2 seasons.
Alexander, Caitlin Todd? Is that who you're talking about?
Caitlin Todd, yeah.
All right.
You know what? Type in Caitlin Todd. Hold on, let me see if I can find the picture.
I see her. I'm looking right at her.
No, there's a... I think is it Bondage? Hold on.
Was there an episode where she was in bondage?
Don't type that. You're going to find weird shit.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm going to wait till you
so
tell
what
me
happens is that she's being remembered. So she left the show because she didn't want to keep up with the pace of the show because they filmed around the clock.
Okay.
But they still had her. So after she, it's not like she died in real life. So after the character died, everybody is dealing with her loss, but they're hallucinating her, and the hallucinations are comedic. One of the people imagines her in a schoolgirl outfit. So they had the actress there as a ghost of her, as a memory of herself dressed as a schoolgirl. Whereas the goth girl puts her in goth gear. And it became this what can we dress her up as now thing. Hold on, let me see if I can find any of the pictures. Because it really undercut, and it was when I realized it really was a comedy. Because they didn't know how to. Oh, it's with a C. There you go. Let's see. Do I have the image of it? There you go. Type in Caitlin Todd NCIS goth, and you'll see
Oh, I thought the other girl was the goth girl on that show.
No. The goth girl imagines her as a goth, so she shows up as a goth in her memory. Like, everyone got to dress her up.
Oh, my God, with the blonde hair?
With the blonde hair, yeah.
What the fuck? Oh.
Hold on, type it now. Now type in, keep the Caitlin Todd NCS
Elvira
and type in,
Blonde. Okay.
type in schoolgirl.
Oh, no.
Oh, they show you the top, and they don't show you the... Oh, no, they show you the bottom.
Who imagined her as a schoolgirl, dare I ask?
It's Nozo, the Italian, the younger guy?
Oh, of course it was the Italian fucking pervert.
He is. I mean, that's kind of the point of the character. Yeah.
No, that's all right. I mean, if you're going to have an Italian on your show, make him a pervert.
In fact, there's a whole YouTube of it where you can see it. You know, and it's like...
I see screenshots of it, because obviously not the only Italian pervert in the world.
And is there a bondage? He put her in bondage. Oh, yeah,
I see the bondage one, yes. I see it with her with the hat on and everything.
There you go.
Who the fuck imagined that?
I think it's the same pervert. So here's the thing. She gets shot in the head. It's very traumatic. Yet,
I saw that image. Yeah, I saw that too.
And yet, this is like the next episode. They've got her in bondage gear. They've got her dressed as a goth. Like, and I'm sitting there going, are you trying to, like, take a step back and go, hey, guys, it's not so bad. You know, like, you know, I know she's gone, but, you know, we can have fun with it too, can't we? And you're like, you dressed her in bondage.
Wowzers.
And then one guy dressed her up all in vinyl, so she looked like Trinity. You know, and you're like, I guess it's an interesting way to process the grief. You know?
Sure.
So, yeah.
It's a way.
It's a way, yeah. So, anyway.
Oh, boy.
That's all I got for you.
Where are we at? Oh, an hour in. Yep. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Here we go.
I'm just as nervous as you are. This is the first time for both of us. I ain't never killed anybody before. I'm just trying to break into the business at the top.
Fast as the lightning bolt. Well, and he can kill you with just one jolt. So much finesse with his feet and his hands. What you say to that? Good God Almighty, what a powerful man. I'm talking about King. Hey, King. Talking about
Mr. Keys.
Back then you believe. Hey, baby, don't mess with Keys.
Yeah.
Nothing. I always just enjoy the music. I always enjoy
I
these.
thought you were laughing at something specific.
I always enjoy these musical interludes. I often sing along.
Yeah. Well, we are in our final week of reviews.
Is this it?
Are
there no more movies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, of course there are more movies, but not any more of these because now we're moving into
yeah, Black History Month is over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just advise. You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this, and I had to pick two movies to advise them to watch. And I think
one of them's the one we're talking. One of them tonight.
I told them to see Three the Hard Way and The Spooky Sat by the Door. Those were the two that floated to the top of my mind that were like, if there's two of these movies you should see these two.
Interesting. Okay.
It's not that well, some of them weren't great, but it's not that they were bad, the rest of them. It's that those two were the ones that
There's really only two that I would tell people, yeah, you might get bored. It's only two so far.
Well, we haven't reviewed tonight.
And one of them is in tonight's selection.
It's tonight's.
That I would be like, yeah. But that's really it of all the what would it be? 12 movies. The 12 movies we've talked about, only two, and they're not bad. They're still interesting, but they have one can get dull in the middle, unless you're into gritty New York, which is Devil's Express, and the other is going to be it's going to be the first movie we talk about because I think we'll have the least to say really about it. Because it squanders so much of its interesting potential.
Well, I will let you direct the order of things for our final Black History Month movie reviews.
Yep. Before we start with women's, what is it?
It's Women's History Month.
Women's?
Yeah. Next. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which I will say, and this is a slight teaser,
Are we?
and some people
hold
might
on.
be able to guess.
Are we just watching Mila movies for a month?
Not
we should do
exclusively.
Wow, we should do a Mila March. Yeah. Ooh, Mila March. Mila March. That's Women's History Month. It's the history of Mila in March. I don't think you could come up with a month of movies to watch.
You're full of shit. You think I can't?
Mila?
I've already got them pretty much assembled. Yeah, I could. No, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
You think I can't come up with 12 Mila movies?
Oh, is it? Yeah, you're right. You're right because it's not
3
as
per
many
week,
as, yeah.
4 weeks. It's only 12.
Yeah,
That's not much.
See, I was thinking my brain said 5 per week, but you're right. We're at 3.
Let me tell you something. I could watch a Mila movie every night.
Hey, listen.
But
I will do Mila March if you want to. She's easy on the eyes, and it definitely hits the program.
Boy, is she.
Of Women's History Month. Plus, it'll be amusing to hear you try to contain yourself.
Okay, then that's what we're gonna do. It is now Mila March. Yeah. Okay, but we're not there yet. Okay, I'm gonna have to reslot the movies into the thing. That's fine. No problem. No problem. I'm
so curious what we're gonna see now. Like how far you will go.
Oh! Look.
Like, are we watching Return to Blue Lagoon?
No, I don't. No, look. I
That's too
don't
much.
like Return to Blue Lagoon.
I think it's creepy, right?
It's creepy. Also, it's not a good movie.
No, it's not. It's basically it's the creep factor.
Now, don't get me wrong. We will be watching Ultraviolet.
Oh,
Because, yeah. In fact, that might be the first one we watch just to get it done.
This is going to be an exercise this month in she looks great. There's nothing wrong with her, but this movie is not good.
Because whatever. We'll get into it. But
yes.
Yeah, please. Like I can't come up with 12 fucking Mila movies.
See, like I said,
Fool.
my
fool.
brain was thinking like 5 a week. That's a little different.
Yeah,
Could you do 5 a week?
Could
you think you could come up with 5 a week for March of movies?
Well, yeah, we could just do all the Resident Evil movies. We'll eat 7 of those right up.
Oh my God, is there that many of them?
Yeah, I think there might be more. I think there's, hold on, let's see. Resident Evil Mila movies. How many are there? There might be 9. Let me see.
No.
Hold on. I may be wrong. I'm going to look.
9 of them?
I know there's at least 7. Hold on.
Jesus.
All right, let's see. Let me count. Resident Evil. It helps if I can fucking spell the word. Okay. So, let's take a look. There are. Let's go to the list here. Where the hell's the... Oh, of course. You know what? I should not have gone to IMDb. She has too many movies. Let me go to... Here it is. Resident Evil movies in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Wait. Oh, here's the Mila one. Sorry. I had to get the one live action because they include the other ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay. I thought there were more than 6.
Jesus.
6 of them. The other 6.
I think I stopped. I think I haven't seen past 4.
You know what? We're going to watch them all. Because 6 is 3 and 3. And after 3, they go into the toilet so hard.
I saw the one in the base, the first one. I saw the second one in the city, which is not good. And the third one is in the desert, which is the one with the boat.
Yes, that's the one you like. That's the one you like with the birds and the
desert
psychic
one.
powers.
And then is the fourth one the one in the boat?
It ends at the boat. I think 5 starts on the boat.
Okay, yeah. It gets really bad at that point, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've actually seen all these. I think I've seen them all.
I'm sure you
but
have,
I haven't seen them all in a long time. Now, I've seen the first one numerous times because I get a kick out of the first one. I have a lot of problems with it, but I get a kick out of it. So, yes.
The first one?
Fuck you. The first one.
I like the first one. Listen.
As a Resident Evil movie, it's not very good. As a Mila movie, it's great. I
dig Michelle Rodriguez. I always dig Michelle Rodriguez. And her and Mila in a movie is very easy on the eyes.
Yeah, I have no problem with her either. I'm saying as a Resident Evil movie, it's not very good. As a fun movie, it's great. So, anyway. And especially if you're hardcore into Resident Evil, they mix characters so incorrectly.
Yeah, they just shat on your dreams. Yeah.
Oh, boy, do they. I mean, they dispense with fan-loved characters out of nowhere. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about
Not tonight.
on this episode.
No, but I'll let you
we're
dictate
gonna start.
the order tonight.
We'll start with we're going to go in, I think what we'll agree is the order of quality. We're going to start with the weakest one, which is from 1973.
Hold on. I'm just curious, then, what's the final movie? Because, I mean, those other two are, I mean...
I have to end with the one we watched last. That was intentionally picked as the final one.
That's fine. Go on.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with 1973's Blackenstein, The Black Frankenstein. That is the title. I'm not adding that subtitle. It is Blackenstein, The Black Frankenstein. I don't really know who needs that subtitle to be pointed out to them, but I suppose somebody does. And most of the time when you see it, it does not have that, but that is the official title. This movie, as the title gives away, is attempting, and I'm using that word very specifically, to put a black spin on Frankenstein's monster. I would say pretty unsuccessfully, because it squanders its good ideas up front and does very little with them.
I want to, and that's basically the problem with this movie, which is that it actually does a lot of interesting things up front where you're like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, neat. And like, if it had, up until the time that he starts to transform, I think, in fact, I would say up until the time that he looks like the classic Frankenstein monster.
Yes.
The movie is actually interesting. And you're kind of like, oh, how are they going about this? What are they doing? Like, but then the second he comes out of that cage and he looks like Frankenstein's monster, it's like you're watching a completely different shit movie. And,
I agree.
And some of those, there's one in particular murder sequence which makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand how that girl got caught. They were basically running in circles in a small warehouse with no doors.
Yeah.
Like,
So here's the thing about the movie that makes it so disappointing. As Lando said, up until the point where the main character, who is a Vietnam vet who has lost his limbs.
Yep.
Now, there's a whole backstory, by the way, to this movie that is 80 times more fascinating than the movie, to be honest. The main lead actor supposedly was a put on trial for murder and acquitted by the lawyer who got the movie made, who then did the movie as a favor and was the main Frankenstein's monster character. I mean, there's a ton of interesting stuff on the making of the movie. Which
it was the first time director, a first time writer, and the writer who's the lawyer was murdered after the movie came out. And
because he was a criminal attorney.
Drama.
The story around the movie is much more intricate, complex, and fascinating than the movie's story, because it just doesn't do anything with it. So movie starts out, and we have and plus this movie was originally a PG comedy, and when it bombed on screenings, they tried to make it into an R-rated horror film.
Which is so, I mean, honestly, it makes it even more funny.
It is bizarre what this movie is. But movie starts out, classic castle in California, with a scientist named Dr. Stein. First name is not Franken, as far as we're ever told.
Frank Stein.
I think it's like Theodore.
Actually, you know what? Look
it's
at
not
the
Frank
IMDb.
Stein.
I wonder if it is.
No, I'm pretty sure it just says Dr. Stein. It doesn't have a first name, but I thought somebody said Ted, but maybe not. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Ted Stein.
Maybe it's supposed to be Frank. But whoever, Dr. Stein, surprisingly, never evil. He's one of the only white characters, but never evil. In fact, here's the most remarkable thing about this movie. Of every movie we've watched, all of them, this is the only one where there is no element of racism. None.
Yeah.
None.
Not at all. Yeah.
Even the asshole orderly in the hospital who is basically unleashing a tirade on the character who's the Vietnam vet.
Yeah,
he's not pissed because he's black. He's pissed because he couldn't get into the military.
Yeah.
That's why he's angry at this guy.
That he didn't get sent to Vietnam, that he tried and they wouldn't take him. Yeah.
Because he had a bad heart.
Yeah,
he had a heart defect.
I thought that he was going to be like a racist asshole, but even he wasn't.
Well, that's what
it's so strange.
Yeah, because he keeps escalating and you're waiting for it to cross into, okay, we're going to go into racial. Never. The movie has no racial overtones that I picked up on at all that are overt. And again, the only movie in this entire 12-film set that never invokes racism. So again, that's by itself remarkable because you expected it at least a couple times. I thought the orderly, and then I was sure that the scientist, the Dr. Stein, I was sure.
Honestly, Dr. Stein seems to be like just a benign doctor trying to help people reattach limbs.
Yeah, no, he is. But what I'm saying is I thought that at a certain point we were going to find out because he's got this serum and he can't get it quite right. So in some ways it feels like Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, where he can't get the serum quite right to be able to regenerate limbs and cure aging and all this stuff. And I thought we were going to find out at about the halfway point or a little past that the worst people being afflicted by what he was doing were going to be black people. I thought it was going to be that the white people were who... No, but it never happens. There's nothing.
And it isn't even the doctor that causes problems. The problems occur from the fact that his assistant, who is a large black man, has a thing for the wife of the patient, who is the other assistant at this point, and hopes that if he kills her boyfriend in the process, he will then have a chance.
Right.
But instead,
so he botches the serum, and they turn him into a murdering monster, a kind of mindless. Yeah. As far as we can tell, he's mindless. I mean, he reverts. So honestly, it's hard to say.
That still could have been done. Like, they could have still landed the movie doing that. It's just that they then just went in such a absurdly fucking ridiculous direction with it.
It's just like boring.
Yeah.
It's just, there's nothing. That's the biggest problem is they don't do anything with the ingredients up front. As you said, once he becomes the monster, all he's doing is stomping around and killing people. And that's the movie, and then they kill him.
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Like, he's not trying to find connection. Like, nothing. No. It just makes no sense. He's just...
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, somehow his rampage doesn't result in the doctor perfecting the serum, and therefore there's kind of a beneficial side effect to it. Nothing. He just shoots him. They just shoot him, and he dies. That's it.
No. Oh, hold on 1 second. That is the one thing that was surprising with this movie. He doesn't get shot and die. He gets ripped apart.
Oh, well,
by Dobermans.
What I meant was they just kill him.
Yeah. Yes, they just kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that feels like they added that to get the R rating. Doesn't feel like that's what was originally intended because the gore is so weird and out of place.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically gets killed by attack dogs, which is the equivalent of they shoot him and kill him. That's it. That's what I'm saying is there's nothing to it. Except that it's dogs, I guess.
Hey, you know
and
what?
Dobermans are scary,
when they
so there's
put
that.
the dogs on him, I was really worried that we were going to have a No-Joe movie.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
But in the end,
Dobermans are kind of...
in the end, the dogs kill him, so it was okay.
Dobermans are scary, so it's less of a thing for me, because I always grew up thinking of Dobermans as scary. So I would have been less
because when you see them with the floppy ears, they're such dopey looking dogs.
Oh no, I mean that's just a childhood thing. I know
those ears.
Listen, there are no bad dogs. There are bad people who make animals do things that are bad. There are no bad animals. Yes, so it's just like pit bulls and everything else. It's all bullshit. Animals are what the people make them. As simple as that. So, but that's the thing is. That ending serves no purpose. There is no lesson. There is no nothing. We get no anything from it. So it's a movie that starts off with this really interesting thing. And when you get to the end and realize, again, which I will remark on because this is the only movie that there was no racism in.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a subtle angle to putting dogs onto a black man. Obviously, dogs and black people. But that's not what the movie was doing. The movie was just using dogs. It could have been a bear.
Yeah, at that point they were dealing with a monster. Yeah, but the thing is, his wife is loving and she wants to help him.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem to be a bad person. He gets screwed over by this other guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a bad person. Like that's the thing. There's the first half of the movie sets it up to be another kind of Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde. Where it was like, oh, wow, this is going in an interesting direction. I like the things that they've changed. I'm interested in the things that they've done. And then they just fumble it so hard that you're just like, I'm both bored and irritated with this. Like, it just got dumb.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It just didn't do anything. It just got
after
boring.
starting out so well, like they didn't do anything with the Vietnam stuff. They didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't do anything with they'd set up all this potential, and then they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And honestly, the only thing that I think, I won't speak for you, but the only reason I know it kept my attention this one first time was because I kept expecting something to happen. If I would watch this again, I would fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly.
Because I know there's nothing to it.
Man. I mean, it's irritating because the first half of the movie is good. It's interesting.
Yes.
They do cool stuff. And then,
Yes.
and knowing that the first half of the movie exists and wondering if they'd been able to keep that pace, what it may have looked like.
Right.
It's irritating. It's fucking
It is.
irritating.
Yes.
So.
It takes different paths than you would expect at first. But then those paths just lead to a straight road to nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's the disappointment, is that, okay, you had this really interesting, again, for when you see the title and what you normally get out of something like this, you sort of think you're going to know what's coming, and it doesn't do any of the normal stuff, but then it just doesn't do anything with the interesting elements, and that's why it's a letdown, especially in comparison to the movie that we watched before it, which we'll just talk about now, because, I don't know, do you have anything else to say
Honestly,
about Blackenstein?
Blackenstein is, I think, probably one of the weakest movies. I think it is the weakest movie we watched of this month.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, because what was the other one that we said was a little bit weak?
Devil's Express in the middle.
You know
if
what?
You're not into
listen,
dirty New York.
No. Devil's Express, I enjoyed that way more than this. Devil's Express.
Oh yeah.
It moved things around weird. But Devil's Express was consistently like kind of weird and bizarre. I mean, like they other than the fact that they lost their main character through the middle of the movie.
Oh yeah.
I think with Devil's Express, because they then brought him back. You know what? Blackenstein, if the movie had started out strong and then it had this thing in the middle that was shit, and then at the end came back and managed to like land all the shit that they'd set up in the beginning, right? That would have been good. They didn't do that.
You know what I thought of just now that would have saved this movie? If at the end you found out that the reason that Dr. Stein was working on the serum is that he was secretly the Wolfman, and the ending of it was him transforming at the full moon.
Oh,
and
I mean,
he
shit,
chained
that would have been...
himself up,
okay,
right?
hold on. Oh, that's why he had the cage?
Yes!
Oh,
that's why he had he had chained himself.
That would have been fucking left field and amusing.
It would, but if the last 30 minutes was that, finding that out and you knowing the two were going to fight.
The White Wolfman versus Blackenstein? Yeah, that would have been fucking hilarious.
That's your movie. Nope, didn't do that.
But no, they didn't do
that. No. Nope. Because that is the odd part is Dr. Stein, his other patients are in rooms, not cages, rooms. But he's got a cage.
He does, yeah. He's got a cage with a chain on it.
It's not explained
like, why is
unless
that there?
He was the Wolfman.
Yeah, and he does say that there's a worry that his serum can bring out the animal in people.
And wouldn't it make sense that he had done the first test on himself, had gone full Wolfman, and then had adjusted it so that it wasn't as severe with his other patients?
Honestly, Blackenstein and the White Wolf, that would have been a hell of a movie.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead, this, which is just a lot of nothing when you get past that point where he becomes Blackenstein.
It ends up being a lot of nothing.
It's a big wet fart.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'm trying to...
Actually, no, it's a big dry fart. It's not even a wet fart. There's something in a wet fart.
It's like when you think you're going to shit yourself, and it's nothing, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what makes it worse is that there's potential in the beginning, and it goes nowhere.
There's a lot of potential thing, but like there isn't even like there's like fun nudity or good deaths or anything like that. Like the second half is so weak.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah. It's just nothing. So.
Unlike the other movies we watched.
Unlike the other movies, and let's move into 1972. Well, actually, ironically, the movie that inspired Blackenstein and many others like it was 1972's Blackula, which is a fucking great movie.
I did not expect this movie to have the statement and power that it did. I was really quite impressed with this movie.
Me too, because I only knew the bare bones about this. I expected a relatively, I'm going to use a word not as a pun, but toothless.
Yeah.
You know, again, spin on a classic tale.
A lighthearted, black-themed Dracula movie.
Yeah. I literally thought it was just going to be the Dracula story with a black lead. That's what I thought, which would have been fine. I wouldn't have had a problem with it, but that's what I thought.
But that's not at all what this was. No.
But holy shit, this one starts by stomping the accelerator into your skull.
Yeah, and
by having the opening.
And the guy who plays the lead, by the way,
William Marshall is the actor's
He has a marvelous voice, number one. And when we realized that he was Daystrom from the original Star Trek series, it added a whole new level of fascination.
You found that as we were watching it. But another thing I want to point out about this is that actor, actually, the original version of the character was far more, was less.
Well, he gave him a name,
unique,
didn't he? Didn't he say no? I want him to have an actual.
Yeah, because his original name was just kind of a boring name. It was just kind of a standard name.
He's supposed to be an African
Samson
prince.
Or whatever. Yes. And William Marshall was the one who said, no, we have to give him a name. We have to make this character regal. And, we have to give him more than just, okay, he's a black Dracula. So, because, it was originally, the character's name was originally just Andrew Brown. He's like, no. We're going to give him this name. He's going to be an African prince that has an actual regal kind of bearing to him, as opposed to just a random black guy.
His name is Mama Dewani?
Mama Walde.
Yeah, and it's like, it sets him up as like this kind of interesting like character. You don't expect him to be as interesting as he is, but you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of like, I will let you set it up, but you do kind of root for him.
Here's the opening. In the 1700s, an African prince named Mama Walde goes to Transylvania.
It goes to Europe. He goes to Europe.
No, it's Transylvania.
No, I know that.
It says Transylvania.
But he says he has basically gone to Europe looking for support to go against.
Oh, right.
The slave
he's
trade.
trying to find someone to help in his quest to stop the slave trade.
Yeah.
And he goes to Count Dracula.
And he ends
from
up
the old
there.
stories.
Yeah.
The Count Dracula that I thought he was going to be in this story,
which he doesn't know is a vampire.
Which he does not know is a racist fucking vampire.
Oh my god! Yeah, they make Dracula a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
a racist.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
It's sort of interesting how it works, because I went back and rewatched the opening. I was curious.
Yeah.
When we watched it, I was just kind of shocked. What's fascinating is at the very beginning, Dracula seems to be trying to just say, no, I'm not interested, without going full KKK on him. Yeah. But when he presses him, he just unleashes the Klan side. So first he's like, it's just not of interest to me. And when Mama Wally's like, how can it stop being of interest to you? This is the suppression. And he's like, listen, I own you. I own your wife. You come from the jungle. Fuck you. And he just goes insane.
Yeah, he does.
And suddenly, out of his nowhere, his wives show up. They're full vamps. They're all like green-faced with fangs and shit.
And it's
like
not
it just
enough,
goes hammer hard out of nowhere.
It's not enough that he wants to convert him, or he wants to fucking punish him for having the insolence to even fucking question him.
Yeah, he's like, not only do I not like you because of your skin, I want your wife now. Oh, you're going to keep back-talking me? Fuck you, now you're a vampire, and I'm going to call you Blackula. He names him Blackula. Yeah. That's not just the title of the movie. That's Dracula's insult to him.
And then he locks him in a tomb so that
he says, your wife is going to be chained here and die while you're in there. And then you'll wake up and you will be a monster.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
She'll die of starvation, and you'll go into some kind of, into a craze because you can't feed. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll wake up in a bloodlust. You'll be a monster.
It is absolutely horrible what he does to that guy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to say it right up front, the only weakness of this movie, for me, right, is that it didn't end. The same weakness. Yeah, it didn't end with Blackula fucking killing Dracula.
Yes.
showing up and be like, you're dead. And I think the only reason that doesn't happen is because I think that Dracula is already dead in the future.
I looked it up. You are right. So
Okay.
I missed
So
this line.
Yeah.
But I looked it up to see. And what they did was they wanted to follow the original novel. So Van Helsing killed him in the same time period as the novel. So it's following the novel.
That's amazing.
So the novel's events unfolded around this, or after this, whatever.
Yeah, after
yes.
it, yeah.
So he was killed in the late 1800s, which matches the book.
Yeah, so basically,
the original Dracula.
So when you go forward to the present, which is like what year? They're down in the 70s.
The present of swinging 1972.
Yeah, and there is a interracial gay couple, which, by the way, we had 2 interracial gay couples in our movies this week.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's kind of interesting because we had one in the 70s and then we had a modern movie.
And this is a pun, but I'm going to use it anyway. For 1972, they play this couple straight. They do not make them a joke.
No,
which I was impressed with.
They are, what do you call it? They are antique dealers, and they are at this castle buying shit. And the guy's like, "Well, this is Castle Dracula," and they're like, "Yeah, sure it is." And they buy all the stuff.
And I want to point this out because I think this is an important point that the movie. I don't know whether it was on purpose or not. I want to hope it was. The only people in the movie who make anything of these individuals being a homosexual couple are the cops, who continually use terrible phrases.
No,
for them.
the Van Helsing character, he says something too. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
Okay, but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
That's
in
that
fact,
guy.
what's terrible about this movie is that you got white people being racist to black people, and you've got black people basically hating on gay people, and then all of them looking down on women. This movie very much sets up the problems of the time.
But my understanding is that there has historically been a bit of tension when it comes to gay members of the black community. Now, I can't speak with any real authority, but I have been told enough times and seen enough, I've read enough about it. So that's not out of place. But the ones who really feel like the movie doesn't seem to care. That's what I mean about from 1972. The movie we'll talk about last, that I expected to treat it better because it was made in a much different era. But as you said, they now take possession of the castle, which has been destroyed. Because
well, no, they don't take possession of the castle. They buy
possessions of the castle as well.
Yeah, they buy everything in the castle, and when they do that, they buy the sealed tomb, which
and
no
a lot
one
of
has
other
opened.
stuff.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff, and they bring it all back to the U.S.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep going.
No, I was waiting for you. It was that one of those rare moments where the what do they say in Neuromancer? Where there's a rare moment of quiet, and it was an angel passed.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened. In any event, so the coffin comes back, and of course they try to open it, so they break the seal. And as soon as they break the seal on the coffin,
and the one guy cuts himself.
Mama Walde cuts himself. Mama Walde rises from the coffin. And he is in monstrous form where he just has a lot of facial hair and fangs. And he proceeds to start killing people in his bloodlust, which is exactly what Dracula said was going to happen.
Yeah. Now, is it right that everyone he bites turns into a vampire?
As far as we see, yes.
Okay.
Now, I don't know whether we know everybody he killed, but all the people we see him actively bite at some point show up. And more. We actually see more than we...
Yeah, there's
more vampires at the end show up than he bit. So clearly...
Because all the vampires he bit were biting people as well, so...
Right. So he's... And what we surmised, although the movie doesn't ever confirm it, is kill him and they all die. We don't know that, but based on the way the movie seems to be operating, because Dracula's wives aren't still around or anything, so it seems like once Dracula died, probably all of his vampires died, and now... the same thing would be the case with Blackula's vampires. But again, we don't really know that because,
you know what?
This movie has an ending.
Let's not call him Blackula because that's the racist name that Dracula gave him. We'll call him, was it Mama Duwalde?
Mama Walde, sure.
Mama Walde, because it's a much cooler name.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll call him Mama Walde.
Oh, it's a much cooler name. But it's also the title of the movie, so I think it was meant to be kind of everything.
Okay.
But in any event, Mama Walde goes around, and he, much like the Francis Ford Coppola movie, he's in basically revenge mode until he lays eyes on the sister of the woman that is dating the forensic pathologist who figures out that something weird is going on. So the main
the Van Helsing character, essentially.
The Van Helsing, which his name is Dr. Thomas, is actually a pathologist for the LAPD. He's not a cop. He's a pathologist. So this is a very Italian-style thing where the main person solving crimes is not a cop, or at least is not a badged officer. And so I was like, oh, that's
but they
nice.
do. You know what? But I was surprised at the degree to which they were willing to listen to him. Like,
well, he seems to know what he's doing. I mean, obviously, he's helped them solve problems. And I think that's the thing is, if you're useful, then suddenly the racism tends to fade a bit. But who knows what they're saying about him behind his back in the locker room. So
very true.
We're only seeing one side of the conversation. In any event, he's seeing that there's something odd going on, and they're at a club, and Mama Walde shows up, sees the sister, whose name is, well, the modern woman is Tina, and Mama Walde believes that she, and is the same actress playing both roles, that she is the reincarnation of his wife, Luva.
Yeah, if anything, she does look a lot
fell
like
into
her.
infatuation with the sister, Denise Nicholas, who was
you were like
gorgeous.
Really amazed by her.
I was smitten by her. I really was. Holy shit. Oh boy. Anyway, you'll hear that multiple times in the commentary because I won't shut up about
I was just mesmerized by Blackula and his cape and that voice of his. Jesus Christ, it was like James Earl Jones rumbling. Like that guy.
That Lando used the term he just told me not to use. Anyway.
Oh,
you just called him Blackula.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You just fucking did it.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Matter.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, because that's the character's name. So it is easy to just do it.
I know.
So Mama Walde becomes smitten and immediately starts macking on her. Like he's all over her and she becomes frightened naturally because he's a tall, wonderfully, richly voiced man in a cape.
With a cape who wears it well. And he's very gentlemanly to her. I mean, he is a smooth dude. Even other dudes are aware of it.
Strong. He's coming on strong.
Yeah.
And so she runs, he pursues her, gets hit by a cab driver who, unfortunately, the movie underutilizes. This is one of the great cab drivers in film.
They waste her. She's so good.
Yep. Her name is Juanita Jones, which if that does not sound like the sidekick for Luke Cage in a future goddamn series.
And the way she looks cool, like the way she's dressed and everything like that.
Awesome. Yeah. She gets out of the cab and just unloads on him. What the fuck? You're walking in front. I mean, she rips him a new asshole and a half.
She tells him where to put it, and he doesn't like that.
No. Mama Walde does not respond well to criticism and kills her. And she'll come back, but even then, they don't really use her.
Yeah, but she
enough.
won't come back good. It's not a good comeback, yeah.
Right. So the middle of the movie is really where Dr. Thomas, or, modern Van Helsing, is looking in. He very quickly keys in on the fact that something is off about Mama Walde. And the thing about Mama Walde I really like is once he becomes ensorcelled by Tina, he becomes a different character. He's very nice. He actually seems to maybe be renouncing his, bloodlust as much as he can. Like,
well, he seems to be feeding just enough to keep himself.
Yeah, he's sated, but he's not. He doesn't seem to be out for revenge or anger or whatever it was in the beginning, where he was just killing a bunch of people. Now with her, he seems to see a way, because there's a point at the end where he's confronted by Thomas and the police chief. And Thomas goes to pull the cross out, and he's like, "You don't need that. I'm not going to attack you."
Well, yeah,
that's not what I'm about.
Well, at this point, but you have to understand, at this point in the movie, they have now killed Tina.
Right, but he doesn't go on a rampage.
No, because once they kill her by accident, she gets shot, and then he converts her into a vampire, which he doesn't want to do, but he does it because he wants to be with her. And then she gets staked because they think it's him. And when she is dead, that's it. Yeah. He's done. He doesn't want to live anymore. And the movie ends with him basically just walking into the sun, which is like sad because you kind of wanted him to get away with the girl. Right. Like,
no, it's a terrible ending because Mama Walde was essentially just trying to seek out help in having equality for people like himself. And he not only was he cursed, punished, tortured, and then his wife was killed not once, but since he believes that she was reincarnated, twice. And now what's left? And he could have he could have gone war on humanity and been like, fuck it, I'm going to build a vampire army, and I'm going to kill everybody. Because guess what? Fuck everyone.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't have blamed him. I would have said, you know what?
You kind of root for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. And so, yeah, he's just accepted that death is the only way out. It's the only, basically, relief. And as you said, he goes up into the sun and turns into a skeleton.
Yeah.
And that's really it. And then the movie ends. And it's
sad
now,
because
of course,
he's
he comes
basically,
back, but
he's punished by Dracula, and then he never really recovers.
Well, he is punished by a racist. He is killed by a racist in a horrible way.
Yeah.
Comes back only to lose the only person he really cares about again.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
And have nothing.
It's sad. It ends up being this, like... I mean, does he kill people? Yes, but... Yeah, I just felt bad. I mean, he was... I think there's a way...
Yeah.
I think if they remade this or something like that, and they played up the fact that he was still eating people. I think that's the thing, is that you don't see him eating people, but the implication is that he is still eating people because he is a vampire, and there's a lot of them at the end in the warehouse. So he's still doing it. You just aren't seeing it per se. And it's an interesting dichotomy where it's like, yeah, he's a vampire, but he's not an asshole about it, I guess. Like, I don't know. I mean,
what they could have, an interesting, different ending that basically is almost the same except for the very end, is if he had escaped and gone back into hibernation, because if his wife was reincarnated once, why not again?
Up.
Yeah, why not seal himself?
I don't know
for another
if that was
200 years?
I don't know if that was a particularly enjoyable experience. That's why.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't, but okay, this is the question: is what lengths do you go for love, right?
No,
if you believe,
I know, and that is definitely a different way they could have gone. I just, there's a level of.
But I'm not saying it would be fun time, happy dreams. I'm sure it wouldn't. Not to mention, you'd have to arrange to have yourself reawakened by somebody. But you could just make somebody a vampire who wanted to be one, and say, "All right, here's the deal: come back for me in 200 years and wake me up."
If they're around,
and hope that they do it, and hope there's not nuclear war or some shit in the meantime. But I mean, I guess if there is, you're going to be like Burgess Meredith at the end of that Twilight Zone episode where you wake up and you're the only one left. But outside of that,
you wouldn't last long because there's nothing to eat.
Well, plus I would assume that as soon as you open it, it's all sunlight because the whole building's blown up, so you're done. You open the thing and you're dead 5 seconds later. You don't even know what's happening. So yeah, it's a sad ending because the character is not just pure evil. Like you said, he's killing people, but he's killing people because to some degree he has to. He is a vampire, and he didn't choose to be a vampire. He was literally forced to become a vampire. It was not an option.
By an asshole, yeah.
By a fucking Dracula from the Klan. As incredible as that sentence is. I really cannot stress enough how much the opening of the movie made my eyes blow out the back of my head. Because I said this in the comment. I'm like,
you weren't even going to watch. You were getting ready to not watch a movie that night too, and then you saw a picture from the opening, and you're like, you know what, we should see this.
Yeah.
And that movie kept you going
I saw
all the way
Dracula,
through.
And I thought, wait a minute, why is Dracula? Actually, what I saw was the wives, and I went, wait a second. I didn't realize this was this type of movie because I thought it was just going to be a black Dracula. I thought that's all the movie was. And that opening is so wild because there is no pretense to it. There's no setup. It just starts off with this guy showing up with a very, very reasonable request. And the thing that I had said was, and actually I meant to look at this. So Count Dracula, I believe that Transylvania is basically supposed to... Okay, here it is. So Transylvania is Romanian. That's what I thought. So Transylvania is a Romanian place, province, country. I don't know what the term would be. Romanians in the world have endured persecution over time. So if anything, and not to mention, depending on which version of Dracula it is, not like Dracula was all that popular either. You would think Dracula might see that there's a benefit to having people on his side against persecution who understand what it is. Instead, what we get is basically Dracula with a white hood. And it's just immediate. And so right away, because again, it's hard to overstate that this guy's voice, he is a James Earl Jones level voice. And so you've got this very regal, very polite, overly reasonable, just basic equality request. He's not asking for Dracula to raise an army of white vampires to kill all the other white people, which might be a little excessive, depending on your reading of it. But he's just saying, hey, can you just help us stop the enslavement of people who look like me? Because, it's unjust and horrible. And Dracula's like, nah, and I want your wife. And I'll have her if I want her. Oh, what? You're giving me a fucking side eye? Into the coffin. Fuck you. Wives, come get him. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This thing started off with a fucking atom bomb. And then it just keeps getting better because the character is very likable. And it's sad, like you said, what happens to him. So it's a really wonderful movie. For one that I assumed was going to be not bad, but I figured it would be relatively superficial. I didn't think there was going to be much to it. And that's very much not the case.
No, it's got way more depth than I expected it to have.
I completely agree.
I don't want to watch the sequel, but I'm fascinated by the idea of the sequel.
I think the sequel has they said it's not as good as the original, but it's not bad. I haven't read that it's bad.
It's just.
I don't think it's going to have any of what the original did.
Can they maintain the balance of him being, not quite bad, but not quite good? You know what I mean?
I'm looking at the reception.
Because they basically wake up his boat. It's in the South, and it's like a voodoo movie, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's got a voodoo queen, but they did say the reviews, even the negative reviews, have said that Mama Walde is still every bit that great character. That he's still very good, and he's still playing the character the same. And then Pam Grier is in it, and Pam Grier is supposed to be very good, and I sure do like Pam Grier. So,
yeah,
Well,
then we'll have to watch at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but I'm not in a rush because I do not expect it to be. As nothing I've read indicates it's anywhere as good as this one. Really? And the girlfriend of Dr. Van Helsing's not in it, so that's Pam Grier is great, but this woman just I don't know what she just hit me between the eyes. I don't know why. So,
well,
just for some reason did.
So Blackula is definitely worth watching.
Oh, definitely. That's not even yeah. I would put that pretty, okay, so we've got, we'll get to this in the end, because you kind of already said yours as far as the 2 movies you would recommend. But we'll do, 3 movies? We'll each pick 3 movies from the whole series after we talk about the next one. Because I had a pretty good idea what the last movie was going to be almost from the beginning. And I knew it because Tony Todd died, not that long ago, more than a couple months, probably 4 or 5 months ago. When did he actually die? He died. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's 2024. Why did I think it was a couple of years ago? I'm saying a couple of months. So yeah, he died in 2024. And so I originally had planned the last movie to be Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake, because I thought, erroneously, that Tom Savini, the famous special effects artist, had done not only the direction, but also the effects. But as far as I can find, he did not have any direct hand in the effects. And once I found that out, I kind of went, And so then my idea was to rewatch the original Candyman. But you and I have seen that movie a bunch of times.
Many times, yeah.
And I was pretty sure you'd never seen the sequel, the 2021 sequel.
No, I had not.
Which I saw when it was first released to digital in 2021.
Yeah, I remember you reviewing it.
Yes, I did. And I really liked it. And I had read, and now you found out as well, that it was highly divisive, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, so we should. So I thought, get into a brief of the movie, and then we'll get into the.
Yeah. So we watched the final movie for the series was the 2021 sequel. It is not a reboot and it's not a remake. I don't know where people are coming up with this crap. It is a direct sequel to the first movie. I don't know that it necessarily ignores or doesn't. The other movies don't exist as far as 2 and 3 of the original run, but it doesn't care. This operates as a direct right after the first one follow-up, which I would recommend you just do that. And so it is in the modern day of 2021, and we follow an artist who finds out about the Candyman story, which apparently at this point has fallen into kind of a hush tones and don't talk about it, and we're not going to say anything because we're trying to almost Nightmare on Elm Street style. If we just don't talk about Freddy, he goes away. Kind of the whole basis of Freddy versus Jason. And so nobody really seems to know about that story anymore, which seems kind of impossible for me to believe if you lived in the area with the internet that you would not have ever heard of this urban legend.
I know, but you know what? There's a lot. It's believable because there's a lot of weird stories that fall into obscurity and then people just don't talk about it.
It's not. It's not ridiculously unbelievable. I just think, if he lived in California, it'd be easier for me to believe he'd never heard of it than living right where this stuff had happened. But it doesn't matter. So he is doing some research because he hears about this urban legend from his sister's from his brother-in-law, or not in-law, but his girlfriend's brother tells a story of this woman who stole a baby. And what he's telling is the story of the first movie. He's talking about Heather Lyle. And the one version of it where she was a bad person.
Yeah.
Yes.
The perception
where she stole a baby and was going to kill it and got burned to death. And then, murdered a bunch of people. Well, of course, if you watch the first movie, you know that actually Helen was saving the baby.
Yeah.
And so it gets him, the character's name is Anthony. He gets interested in this idea because he's kind of stalled in his art. He's got to do something new and people want something interesting out of him. And he's trying to figure out what it's going to be. And he goes to take pictures of where this stuff took place. And he gets stung by a bee. And he happens to run into an owner of a local laundromat who tells him about the Candyman that he knew as a child, which was this individual who had a hook for a hand, an actual not implanted by racists, but actual just had a missing hand, because that's the original Candyman has the hook implanted. This is a prosthetic hook like you would get if you lost your hand medically, the standard way, not the horrible torture way. And this individual was being falsely sought by the cops, and so he was hiding in the walls, and he scared the laundromat owner. And when the laundromat owner, as a child, screamed, the cops swarmed in, beat this person to death. And so this has now become one, as we find out, of a series of individuals who embody the idea of Candyman, this spirit of coming back and punishing incorrect wrongs.
And this is the thing that is divisive, because there are people out there who feel that he has. They've kind of ruined the I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they're just angry about the way they've shifted the legend. Like, there are people who literally online were like, "Oh my god, they ruined it," and I'm like, "It didn't ruin it. It's just different." But yeah, let's be very clear. I liked this movie. I liked this movie quite a bit. I thought it was really well done. I expected the general review for people to be like, "Oh yeah, that was good." Good to middling, right? But no, there's people who feel that it ruins the first Candyman. Because this is written by what's his name, Jordan Peele. It's not directed by him, but it's produced, and it does have that kind of Jordan Peele horror movie heaviness to it, where it's like, his horror movies, they're scary, but they've also got some kind of shit in there that leaves you. It gives you pause to think, right? And I enjoyed it. Like, I liked that he got into all this heavy shit and talked about the idea. It very much gets into that idea of the Candyman being a kind of mutual sort of reaction to the pain and indecency visited upon black men through history. If anything, it takes the mythology and expands it well beyond, where every one Candyman is every Candyman, but he is still singular to the people who remember him. Like, it's a fascinating upgrade to the mythology, right? And there are people who fucking hate it. And that really baffled me. I think even Clive Barker liked this, Because you know what? I always forget that Clive Barker wrote the short story that Candyman's based on. I got to go read that because I never did.
It's very close to the first movie. I mean, it's pretty much. I don't even know if there's really all that much of a difference between it from what I remember. I mean, the original story is called The Forbidden, and I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm literally right now rereading the Books of Blood, so I will get to it. But it is essentially, from what I remember, pretty much the same thing. It may not be 1-to-1, but it's pretty close from what I remember. But I'll be rereading it shortly. So yeah, okay. So as far as the changing to the mythology. Actually, where am I? Oh, yeah, I'm only a couple of stories away from it. That's funny. But from where I am in the story, in the book. As far as the people who are upset, now, I'm not upset. I don't care enough. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. I understand why some people might be less thrilled with this version of it. I myself have no issue, but the first movie, because you had said you thought you actually liked the new one better than the old one.
Okay, I think this is, for me personally, I think this is a superior movie. I like the original, but the original movie for me was like kind of more of not generic, but it was more of a horror movie, right? Whereas this feels like it's horror, but it goes beyond horror. It's horror. I said it was like an art horror movie because there's a lot of. The first Candyman has a statement, but it's kind of like it's one big statement, and then it goes on to be horror, right? Whereas this movie continues to say things about like present society, past society, and about the people they're in. Because I told you the other night we were talking about how there's a moment in this movie where like the artist kind of loses me. He becomes where the one of the guys who's showing his art gets killed, and it's on TV, and they mention the artist's name, and his reaction is. Oh, they mentioned my name. And, I mean, he's very enthusiastic about it. And his girlfriend and her brother are both like, what? And then he has to be like, oh, yeah, it's horrible. It's terrible. But, yeah, they mentioned my name. And, like, it was that kind of moment where I'm like, okay, you're not as nice as I was hoping that you were. But you did point out that, he was being, to some degree, he was also being used by they need his art. They're using him for his art, and I was like, yeah, I get it. It's just that. Well, go on.
A couple things. First,
200 hours later,
because I will forget if I don't do it right now, and if the timing's right. So as far as the first movie and this movie, I actually think the opposite of you. I think that the first movie, it has nothing large to say. It's very tight, small scale, while still applying to the idea of racial injustice, but it dials it into this one person. It focuses everything on the Tony Todd Candyman character. There is no hive. This is one person's horrific injustice visited upon many people afterwards. And it is a similar situation. I mean, the idea of mirrors being used in the second one is really
okay.
Great
Yeah, and that's the other
kind
thing
of look at these as mirrors.
Is the way that the mirrors are used and the way that the deaths are done. I think there's just an incredible amount of cleverness to how all that.
Well, and I think the first movie has every bit as much artistry as this one. It's just different. It's gothic horror.
Yeah.
This is more of an art film, but there is every bit as much filmmaking talent in the first one. Because I've watched it recently, and I was really paying attention to how the movie was put together. And it is a gorgeous movie, along with an exceptional soundtrack.
I mean, yeah, the fact that they got, what's his name?
Philip Glass.
Yeah, Philip Glass.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that theme, I've been humming that theme to myself since we watched the movie. Continually, including today. I've been, just kind of humming that theme. It is that good. But the first movie is really just about the character and Helen's relationship with him, which again, much like a lot of other movies, she's the reincarnation type of thing.
And he's in love with her.
Yes, because she looks like the woman he was in love with. You see a portrait of the woman.
Yeah, so there is kind of a Blackula. There's a kind of a Blackula approach to it.
Right, and that's another thing about Tony Todd. That character is not just a slasher. He is this very large, dignified, scary, and yet alluring persona. And that's another difference from the new one. The main guy, whose name I will butcher if I try to pronounce it, fine actor, but he's no Tony Todd. Tony Todd is Tony Todd. And he is so good that you easily forget how little he's actually in the movie. Because when he shows up, he fucking presence. Shows up.
Yeah,
yes.
his presence is always
his
there.
Voice, his demeanor, the way he stands, that coat, the whole thing. He's magnificent. So I put these on equal planes. They're very different movies. The second one is much more about the cleverness, as you said. And I think to some degree, they lost the lead side, like you're talking about. The lead feels like a tool of others.
Oh, here's the thing. I don't think that the lead is the lead in this movie. That's the funny thing, too.
No, you're right.
This feels to me like the concept is the lead. The artist himself is not the lead. It's almost like the Candyman is the lead.
I completely agree. And that's the point. But the problem is then you lose having like a Tony Todd lead where you're riveted to that person. The Anthony character, once he starts falling apart, you understand he's just going to keep... I mean, there's a part where he's pulling parts of his skin off, and you're sitting there going, how are you not at the doctor already? You and I both said it multiple times.
Oh, yeah, go to the doctor.
It's past... and it's not even like he's... Because this is a thing that people do. And this is a real thing people will do when they don't want to go to the doctor. If they have an injury or a wound, they cover it up and they just don't look at it. He's not doing that. He's walking around with what looks like a zombie hand, fucking with it, in pain. And you're sitting there going, okay, wait a minute. How? And not only that, why is your girlfriend not forced you? My wife would notice if one finger of mine looked off. Not my whole goddamn art hand. It's his art hand. And it looks like he's necrotic. Like it looks really bad.
I mean, it's almost like, what's it called?
It's like a gangrene.
The fly. It's like the
gangrene.
Fly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. Yeah. It's bad looking. Like if he'd had it bandaged up right after it happened or when it started spreading, then you could be like, okay, if he's not actively feeling it, he can just ignore it. And if it's like, out of sight, out of mind, if it's just a bandage, which happens later, he's got it bandaged up. But by that point, it's spreading up his body. So there are parts of it that I think are less good. The reflection stuff, the way, like you said, the floating, which the original he floats too. That's
God,
the thing.
I love
It's
that.
great.
The way he floats around and the tips of his feet just hovering above the ground. I mean, it's just such a.
It's great.
I just like all these pieces. The first one was a good horror movie, but this one I just feel like there's more going on for me. There's more little touches that I like. And maybe it's because they have more technology to do this shit. Who's to say what the original director would have done with the original movie if he'd had all the abilities that we have today. But I enjoyed the shit out of this. Like, I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did.
No, it's very good. I would put it as an equal to the first one. I think it, but if it's just a random time and you ask me which of the two I want to watch, I'll always probably pick the first one because the first one is more enjoyable to watch. This one is harder to watch. Now that's because it's talking about difficult issues.
It's heavy. Well, that's the thing. This one is heavy. The first one is a horror movie.
And there's also way more
heavier
body horror in this than there is in the first one. The first one just has killings, but this one has body horror where he's pulling his nail off and he's pulling his, it's like, that's harder to watch than me seeing somebody take a hook to the neck. Like, I don't want to watch a guy pulling his own fingernail off.
Oh my God.
And like yelling and screaming.
When he kills the room full of college girls, the bathroom full of college girls, even though you don't necessarily see all of it, it's so well done.
Hear a lot.
Yeah, it's so well done that they know when to show you things and then when to look away. And like that is a strong thing for a director to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to show you this. It's worse. It's worse you having to imagine it. You're going to see the after effect, and then that fucking Candyman floating in the off the ground through the reflections of the mirror. I mean, No, I enjoyed the shit out of it. This, you know what it is? This movie feels like something I would have written.
Oh yeah.
It's much
But
more
also,
in line with my imagination.
To the thing about changing the mythology, I actually think that's a improvement, because the way I read it, and I really don't know if this is how it's supposed to be read, but this is how I interpret what's happening.
Yeah.
Is that whatever horrible thing you see is what is the Candyman for you.
Yeah.
Whatever thing you connect to the mythology through. And so the owner of the laundromat encountered the individual who became Candyman physically. He was in his presence.
Yeah.
And so he is imbuing Anthony, the artist, with that version, because that's who he always sees.
Yeah.
Until the very, very end, where the girlfriend sees the Tony Todd version.
Well, she sees an amalgam, but the Tony Todd is at the core. And I
But
think that's the thing.
it's Tony
For me, Tony Todd, the first Candyman, is at the core of the entity. But every new person gets added to that amalgam. So at first she sees her boyfriend, right? Which, by the way, oh my God, that scene where she looks in the fucking mirror in the car, where the cops are basically about to like hang this on her, and then she says, and then the boyfriend shows up as the Candyman. Oh, Jesus Christ, that scene's amazing. I mean, and this is what I mean, like this. I really enjoyed this fucking flick, and I thought that the writing was. I mean, like, you got to give it to Jordan Peele, man. The guy can write a movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My only complaint. I have one complaint.
Yes.
And it is specifically with that last thing with Tony Todd. What I would have done is had him standing there and all the other ones that you heard referred to standing behind him and next to him, to show them all. Because it felt like just having it just be him, that felt like, oh, the audience expects Tony Todd to show up, so let's throw this in there. As opposed to, because when the laundromat guy is talking about it, he's talking about he names several of them. All these different people. Yeah. I would have had all of them there to indicate this is what it is. And Tony Todd could be at the front.
What would have been interesting is as she was leaving, she passed by them. Like, they were all just there, but they just were there.
Yeah, they're just standing there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done that. I think the direction they were going for was that they basically wanted it to be more about that it's a gestalt. It's a gestalt idea of fury, of revenge, of anger.
Well, in that case, I would have had the one being with the face shifting.
Well, I think that's what the bees
kept reconfiguring. Well, yeah, but you only see two of them. Why not the rest? Because the laundromat guy names several other people. Again, it is a minor thing, because that's the only part of the movie that I feel like, because you hear Virginia Madsen's voice, you see a picture of her, but you hear her on tapes.
No, I mean, this is a Blade Runner 2049 level sequel.
Which is an apt comparison, because I almost never watch 2049 because it's too much of a fucking bummer. Whereas I'll watch the first one over and over. Even though the second one technically is a much better made movie. It just is. It's beautiful, and it's got a great soundtrack. Even though the first one does too.
I have watched the sequel a few times in parts. I never sit down and watch the whole thing.
I've watched it from beginning to back 4 times.
Wow. Jesus Christ. You got that on me.
Well, because when I watch those type of movies, I'm like, no, I'm watching this movie. And I just sit down, and because it is a beautiful movie.
No,
it's very well made, but it's very sad to me. The ending is very sad. Even though I know Decker gets his daughter back, it's just like, why did Kay have to die?
But I mean, it is a heavy movie, and there are sections of that movie that I like to watch, and then like I'll kind of put it down, and I'll come back to it later.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
I don't watch movies like that. Very, very rare. Very few movies I watch.
You know what? I
watch movies beginning to end.
You don't have small children.
I don't.
You and I occupy a different kind of world, and that's fine because we both get to the same media. We just do it in a different way.
That's true.
You know, and that's fine as long as we can both still access it.
Yeah. But as you said, this movie was divisive.
Yeah. I guess I understand. There's always somebody who's going to love the original more than anything else, but I just thought that this is, for me, this felt like the best possible fucking sequel you could hope for.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Jordan Peele should do the Star Wars movies. They'd be more interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
You know? Could you imagine that shit, huh?
I mean, Jordan Peele was supposed to direct it, and then something happened, and I don't remember why he.
I mean,
didn't.
his hands are all over it.
Well, he was in the producer role. I'm sure that basically he was like, "Here's what I was going to do. You do what you want, but this was my idea." Yeah. And I know that the director worked with him on the movie quite a bit, so that's why the shadow puppets were used, because they both said, "Okay, we have to show this stuff, but we have to do this."
The shadow puppets were done so well too.
Yeah. Well, they had a theater production do it. They actually worked with professionals, and it's very clear because it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Yep.
I mean, can we pick it apart? We can pick anything apart. But I do.
Not much, though. Really, not much.
It's
not much.
It is a fine movie. I mean,
yeah.
The cleverness. I mean, and just that image of the Candyman hovering like that is so striking. Mm-hmm. The way he moves, it's so smooth. And
I do like the fact that they didn't just de-age Tony Todd and make him the mirror reflection. I like the fact that it was somebody who looked a lot like him. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but they found a guy.
It looks like him, but it's a different person. It is a different person from a different
time
time
it definitely is. No, it definitely is. But that's what I'm saying is they did find an actor who could have been recast if they wanted to do that. But I'm glad that because I didn't like the de-aging either. But that's a digital thing. I just would have had Tony Todd be his age. Fuck it, whatever. It's a movie. It's a movie about a supernatural creature. I don't care whether he looks older. Give me a break. Just put the guy's face in it. He deserves it. But no, I like the guy and the fact that he was a character who was killed, murdered.
The candy thing. I mean, that's another thing. Did they do the dropping candy thing in the first movie?
No. It's the Candyman thing is just his name. That's just what you invoked.
So
there's no
in this movie
element.
where like a piece of candy gets suddenly thrown, it just falls.
Yeah.
Like that, they made candy falling to the floor so creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Gotta give them credit for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I sort of there is a thing where people leave candy for him, but it's not the thing where he's like giving it out or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I want to say maybe the story about the razor, was that in the original? I cannot remember because she's going through different stories, and I can't remember if the idea of the razor is briefly mentioned or not. I don't remember. But that's the only thing where there's candy involved is that because the phrase "sweets for the sweet" is a huge part of the original. And so she finds like that they've left tribute for him, but he doesn't distribute it in any way. There's not like he's not leaving it around. There's none of that. No, nothing. Yeah. Because again, it's more of he's a ghost story. So people are basically just trying to, placate him.
Yeah.
And in fact, there is a guy who is pretending to be him, a guy who has a hook, and that's who beats the shit out of Virginia Madsen. When she goes into a bathroom, and he's like, "You're looking for Candyman. I'm Candyman, bitch," and then they beat the fuck out of her. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so funny because it's to go from Blackenstein to the 2021 Candyman.
Oh God!
I mean, just such dizzying distance.
Yeah.
Whereas I mean, Blackula was an amazing movie as well.
Yes, it was.
You know what? I want Jordan Peele to do Blackula, a modern day Blackula. Because I bet you he could do it, and it would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I have no problem with that.
That's all I got.
It's a well-made movie.
So you wanted the three movies. The three movies I thought.
So if you had to pick three movies, and I guess I already know at least one of yours. I'm sure Three the Hard Way has to be one of them.
So three. Oh yeah. So if I was going to tell someone to watch three of the movies that we had seen, oh God, you know what? Fucking hell! I'm looking at the ones I kept.
I'm looking.
Okay, so for movie aficionados or for just in general.
No qualifications. Somebody says, "Oh, I know you were watching movies for Black History Month. What would you recommend?" Who cares who they are?
I can get it to 4.
Don't do movie aficionados because the reality is how many of
I can
people
get it to 4. If you ask me what are the 2 movies that came to the top of my head when I was talking to somebody,
okay,
which is what did happen, I said the Spook Who Sat by the Door and Three the Hard Way. Right? If I could go any further, I would say Sugar Hill and Trouble Man. Those 4 for me were and it's kind of in that order. I would go like the two tiers. Is the first tier for me is the Spook Who Sat by the Door and Three the Hard Way, and the second tier for me is Sugar Hill and Trouble Man.
Well, I'm just going to go with 3. I'm going to pick 3. My 3 would be Three the Hard Way, Black Dynamite, and Candyman.
Oh, you know what? The person I was speaking to had already seen Black Dynamite. That's why. Black
Okay,
Dynamite
well,
was on the list.
and
Yeah.
if they had seen one already,
because we were talking about older movies, and I think that's the thing, is that we were discussing of the older movies we had seen, which I would suggest, because he had already seen Black Dynamite. So
if they'd already seen it,
because Black
then
Dynamite,
I would.
Yeah.
If it was no restrictions, which is what I'm going with, then my backup would be Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. See, I think you have to be somewhat of a movie person to really enjoy that one.
I don't know, and that's what makes me interested to know whether you have to be or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to be. Maybe you're right, but I don't know. I would be curious what a non-movie person watching that would get out of it.
Certain people just want, they just want shit spelled out for them.
Well,
that's kind of the problem.
You can watch that movie literally. You don't have to delve into it. But that would be mine, because I like to throw people curveballs and just let them get out of their comfort zone a little bit. So if there were no restrictions, if it was something where somebody said, "Hey, I don't want anything weird or arty that I have to think about," okay, well, in that case, it's very easy. It's Three the Hard Way, Black Dynamite, and Trouble Man. Done. Because that's the least challenging of all of them. Because
honestly, Trouble Man is probably the least. Of the 4 that I picked, right? I think Trouble Man is the most straightforward.
That's probably true.
Honestly, if I had to tell a person to watch one movie from this whole thing, it's The Spook Who Sat by the Door. Because that, for me, was the biggest surprise, the most mileage of thought.
If somebody said, "I want to watch a movie that's going to push me to really think about aspects of something outside my experience," that's different. That's a different statement. In which case, my 3 would be Black Caesar, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, and Candyman. That's the 3.
Oh, Black Caesar.
Those are the ones where you have to really wrestle with what's going on.
Which one of these movies had the overt racism that most slaps you in the face? Because I'm trying to think. It might be Black Caesar.
Black Caesar, without a doubt.
It
was so cruel, mean, and shameless.
Whereas The Spook Who Sat by the Door, it's still mean, but it's almost like this, they're so dumb they think we can't outsmart them, kind of thing. When they're they think it's a Russian person pulling this rather than a black guy who's organized the community. Yeah. But Black Caesar. Black Caesar, that movie hits hard. It's just...
Yeah. Yeah, Black Caesar is a mean film. It's a mean film in every respect.
It's not a bad movie.
No, I didn't say bad. I said mean. And not only from the white side, but also from Tommy's side. Tommy's treatment of the people around him is as cruel as... Yeah, he's doing as much damage.
Yeah.
He's doing it from a different angle, but he's doing the damage. So that's why I say it's a mean film. Spook Who Sat by the Door, he's trying to win. He's trying to get by force what didn't work by coercion or by persuasion.
And the funny thing is, you don't know if he does. He might.
For all we know, he does.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad it ended the way it ended. But really, that movie's, to me, what that movie's saying is, well, Dr. King couldn't get it done the non-violent way, so guess what? Here's how it's going to get done. And that's a tough movie to watch if you don't have the right mindset, and especially if you're a racist piece of shit. But
yes, well,
it is a justified response to what's gone on.
There you go.
So.
I enjoyed this month of movies.
Yeah.
They were at times challenging and sad because of the level of racism.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm glad that we watched all of them. In fact, that's the thing. I don't regret having seen any of these. There are some that were bad, and some that were great, but I don't regret watching any of these.
No, even Blackenstein, which is I would agree is probably the weakest of the entire run.
Yeah,
it still had enough to talk about, and there's the potential of it.
Yeah,
and it had things that were worth highlighting. And what we're really disappointed in is that it didn't capitalize on them. But not that
it didn't know what to do
a
with
terrible
stuff,
movie
yeah.
that bored the shit out of us. It could have been way worse.
I think that this past month we've watched a lot of movies that surprised us. Like you'd seen some of these, but there's some of these. I mean, a lot of these I hadn't seen. So for me,
I'd seen 4 of the entire run. I had seen 3 The Hard Way, Black Dynamite, Kill Point, and Candyman.
A lot of fun and interest in different.
5 Devil's Express. I forgot.
Yeah. So I'm. Yeah, I know. I that was great. I mean, it's a great list of movies to watch. I mean, you should put the formal list out there so people can check them out themselves if they want.
Oh, that's right. You reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to change something.
Okay.
So I'm going to release all of these on the Patreon in March. Because otherwise they're not coming out till 2029. You know what? I'd rather people be able to seriously. The first one, 3 The Hard Way, is scheduled for January 1, 2029. Fuck that. You know what? We had such a good run with these. I'd rather put them out sooner.
So they will. Listen, you've got enough movies apparently going out to 2029.
Oh, I do. Fucking shit, I do.
Yeah, might as well,
Yeah. So they will start going out. They will be out by the time this comes out. Yeah, because Jesus Christ, 2029.
Well, we watched a lot of movies.
We did.
And you know what? Next month is Mila March.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's going to be its own kind of weird comedy.
I might have to put those out right away, too, because I don't know if I can resist people hearing me go, oh, my God, right away, over and over and over. I mean, that's...
Yeah, and then me going, oh, God, this is not a good movie.
Yeah, and me going, I really don't care, though.
We're gonna explore your obsession this month.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So thanks for.
Well, on that note, everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you know what? I did mean to say, I forgot to. I believe all these movies. Candyman is probably the only one that's not free to watch. I know the other 2 are. Let me look at. Is Candyman on any free services yet? No, it is $4 on Prime. It is well worth $4 goddamn dollars.
Oh
on
yeah,
Prime.
absolutely.
And unlike some of the other movies, this one will benefit from seeing it in a nice HDR, like a 4K or whatever, a good version.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really, really great color usage. There's a lot of really beautiful cinematography and shots. So for $4 to see this in a nice format, I would say do it. It's worth quite a bit more than that. It's very good. The other ones, you can find those all for free. Those are easy. So. And that's it, everybody. So we're done with our Black History Month series, and on to Mila March we go. Which I can guarantee, if nobody else, I'm going to have a good time. So get ready for that. I don't know that there's going to be much to review necessarily, because I believe I will have seen... Actually, I haven't watched the Resident Evils in a while.
I haven't seen them all.
So, yeah. And I've only watched the Resident Evils once. So
I haven't seen... I mean, listen, I think I saw Ultraviolet once, so...
I've seen it 3 times, and it's been a while since the last time.
Yeah, honestly, you should look at Mila's career, and you should kind of be like, okay, let's bring in the...
Well, the problem is, some of her better movies I don't want to watch again. I don't want to watch $1 Million Hotel again. I don't want to watch 45 again. Yeah, 45 is the one where she's basically a battered woman. It's like, I want to have fun looking at her. I don't want to be miserable.
No, let's look real quick.
Sure.
Because,
I mean, there's fun movies.
We're preparing.
We can watch that. I'll try to find the Hellboy, too. That's the other one. You said that.
Oh, God, if we could get that one, that's a good one. But yeah, we should watch the Resident Evils.
I'll find it. Yeah, we'll watch those.
We should watch, I want to see, early.
Well, you already know what we're going to be watching. One of them, what we're going to be watching. We're going to have to watch The Fifth Element. I mean, we have to fucking watch The Fifth Element. I don't care how many times I've seen it.
I always forget
have
that
to see that movie 30
that she's
times.
in Cuffs. I love that movie, Cuffs, but she's barely in that.
She's barely in that.
Dazed and Confused. Yeah, Fifth Element. Oh my God,
Three
they have her.
Musketeers. You know.
Oh yeah, she's the.
Yeah.
Let's see. Resident Evil.
Monster Hunter. She was good in that.
Ultraviolet. Resident Evil. Let's see. Three Musketeers.
Oh,
Oh yeah, she's the Milady de Winter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's gonna be. We'll see. Future World. What the fuck is Future World?
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw that too, but it's got a 3.3.
What
So
the fuck is
Oh,
this?
you know what? Wait. Oh, James Franco is one of the leads.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, Jeff Wahlberg.
James Franco.
Snoop
Hold
Dogg.
on.
Lucy Liu.
James Franco directed it, and it's Jeff Wahlberg. Oh God.
Okay, we're gonna watch this. Oh God, this looks like such a bad. Oh my God, look at him.
But she's got a small role in this. She plays the drug lord. I wonder if she's in this for 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. You know what
Hellboy,
though? That's okay.
Monster
How
Hunter.
How to make a bad B grade movie with an A grade cast. Oh, that's tempting. Wow. Oh. Okay.
Oh, and then
Bad
she
Max.
did
really bad Max.
She did Protector, which is apparently like Taken, but with a
It's not out. I don't think that's out to
is it
watch
not out
in
yet?
theaters right now. I don't think so.
Hold on.
I'll look around. It looked like it still said in theaters. I saw that though. Hold on. I thought I saw that was still.
Yeah, because that's got.
I don't know if it's out digitally. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's out digitally yet. It says. Oh, you know what? It's coming out this month. So
Well, there you go.
all right. Okay.
So yes, sir. You will have
So
to consider
maybe that will be the
what,
last one. We'll watch her most recent one last.
What movies
So
you
we'll
would
watch
like
Protector last.
to see of hers?
Oh, I've already got the 12 almost locked in now.
There you go.
6 Resident Evils, Hellboy, Fifth Element, Ultraviolet. That's 9 already.
Got it.
Protector would be 10. War World or whatever the fuck is 11. So I need one more.
You gotta find. The problem is you gotta find Hellboy.
Well, okay. Now I have a stronger reason to find it. I'll find it.
All right.
If I have to literally rent it and rip it, I'll do it. I mean, I'll if I got it, I'll do it. That's fine. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
lots to
That's
look
my
forward
job.
to.
That's my quest now. So everybody else, watch some of these movies. Trivia. Her name is pronounced Mila Jovovich. Motherfucker, I know that. Jesus Christ.
No, she didn't hyphen her name with the director.
Apparently not.
Isn't
Apparently
it-
she's claustrophobic.
Paul Thomas Anderson, right? Is that the guy?
That's Paul W.S. Anderson. Paul Thomas
W.S.
Anderson is the Magnolia guy.
Yeah, WS. There you go. Got it.
Do not mix those two up because the quality of films is vastly different.
I know.
Vastly different. Oh,
There you
boy.
go.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it'll be an interesting month.
Get ready, everybody. Like I said, nobody else has a good time. I sure the fuck will. And on that note, whatever you do with your weekend, have a great time doing it. And we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.